week, we give you the finest, and I do mean the finest, in Street Fighter 6 action. We only have Japan, and we're not going to stop. We are deep, and I do mean deep, as we get towards the playoffs. And man, last time we had a lot of 40 bombers. Let's see if that trend continues. My name is Seikola. I'm joined with Vicious. How you doing, brother?
You know, I'm big chillin'. It was cool to be a part of the pre-show with the Japanese broadcast, with the Japanese commentators to kind of talk about what's coming up this week, right? Not only are we knee-deep into the season with Street Fighter League Japan, but we also have Street Fighter League US and Street Fighter League EU right around the corner, right? This week, we have the very first episodes of Street Fighter League US coming in live in Burbank, absolutely live audience, everything. So what that means is we get to see the players and how they've adapted so far coming back from their big pilgrimage. I'm really genuinely excited to see it.
I can't wait too. The fact that you said live means there's so much that people get to kind of extract from that battle. You know, it's not just held back by having a previous broadcast. It's all gonna be live, and this is live too as well, as they vie for 15 million, and that's double the prize pool that we've had previously. It's a lot of things to think about, to consider. Beyond the money, though, it's a prize to fight the US and the EU that are having, as you mentioned, real soon. US this week and EU real soon after that. But, of course, you have to get through all these top-tier teams out here, the top-tier teams. Let me hit y'all with the updated standings. Reject, 200 so far. Hiroshima Team Itsuka, 190. ZETA Division Geekly, 150. DetonatioN FocusMe, 140. VARREL, 100. And FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN at 90. It's time for some 40 bombers in reverse for FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN and the lower tier teams out here if they want to have a shot, a sniffing distance at playoffs.
It's rather difficult, right? Like, all things considered, I think for some of the teams down below, I think the only other team that has like a really valiant shot is maybe DetonatioN FocusMe, and then at a smaller percentage, I think Team VARREL. But FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, it's going to be hard, right? We have to make sure that it's fully calculated first to really determine whether or not they're going to be out of the running. And that's something that I can't do. No matter how many college degrees I have, there's no way I can calculate the numbers correctly because I'm bad at it. But other than that, I mean, as you had laid it out, Reject at the very top, it's been a very significant difference from what we've seen between Division F and Division S in regards to how close the rest of the teams are for that top 3 spot, right?
Very much so. And again, like, having seen 40 bombers for some of these teams on the home or away side, you know, you want to take away points from the other side of things as well. But let me get to the awards. We all love the awards. Grand Final MVP, 1 player from the Grand Finals team. Division MVP, 1 player from each division. Rookie of the Year award, Drive Gauge Efficiency award, and of course, our favorite Drive Impact award. I think Mago is actually the top spot. If I'm not mistaken, I was looking on the Capcom Twitter, and they were talking about who is currently up in that rung. So I think Mago is up there. It makes sense because he's kind of devious like that. Once again, shouts out to our ambassadors. These folks coming through. There will be having a live stream of Street Fighter League, I do believe on the 14th, so check that out. Also, check out their efforts in terms of their interviews. It's good to see them break down things from the players. It's hard to actually get information from the players sometimes because, you know, after they win, their streams are flooded with people asking questions and donating and things like that, so it's hard to throw those questions in there. So Vispo, they'll get you on that if you're a native speaker or if you put in the subtitles. So catch that and give them some thanks too as well for all their efforts.
Yeah. In regards to the data that Seikola was pulling out from the social media side, if you guys want to check it out yourselves, you can definitely check it out over at Capcom_esports for all the latest and greatest news in regards to what's going on in the realm of Street Fighter League Japan, and also some of the Japanese players in general, right? They also happen to show information on which venues are going to be hosting live watch parties at their venues. Also, what's to come towards the Capcom Cup as well. So, as you can see right on your screen, at Capcom_esports, be sure to add that account to get all of the latest and greatest news as it comes by, too. Especially if you are international, if you want to come by to Japan as well, and just kind of hang out and watch some of these teams, or even get ready for Capcom Cup 12. But with that in mind, we have so much to really go through, so much to consider with our current layout for Division F. This is going to be really insane. Right, Reject versus VARREL, ZETA Division versus DetonatioN FocusMe, and then Hiroshima Team Ikuza versus FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN.
Last time, DetonatioN took it over ZETA 40-0, and then FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN fell very short to Hiroshima Team Ikuza with a 40-baller and Ikuza side. And then VARREL took it over Reject 30-20. But things have changed. People have been added to the roster. We'll see what the switch up is, and we'll see if things happen a little bit differently for these teams. We're going to be starting with Reject versus VARREL. Let's take a look at Reject, rejecting their limits. The beast that will feast upon all of his opponents with that Akuma. We'll see if he comes out to play, or will even have to today. Daigo definitely doing some damage out here and outside of the league, but cannot forget about the attack on heavy take. It's Fudo. The rumbling is always coming when he has that edge. When he gets that mid-range, he'll get super aggressive. After that, oh, it's my son coming through. The golden Korean finger himself. It is Lashar on the end, the Terry, maybe even the Mai if he needs it, but honestly, I don't think he does. Last but not least, the one that rejects the limits, the FGC genius himself is Tokido. About the content, but more about the combat. Running that Ken and the JP, a good combination of characters and a great combination of a team. Very storied. Every one of these cats an Evo champion from different eras.
I just want to be a part of the group, that's all. I had to do it.
Yeah.
Daigo didn't even, he didn't even flinch. The opposing team coming in from the home side. This is going to be rather difficult to even try to find a counter pick against, but I'm sure the calculated countermeasures should be coming in full effect. VARREL, they need every W they can, but what a tall order. Let's get further introduced with Team VARREL. Coming into the first spot. One of the players that have had an exponential growth from the previous season. It's the exceptional pad master, TS. And of course, one of our favorite Dawson players from around the world, YHC Mochi, the Yoga Monk. Hopefully he gets to provide as a counter pick for some of these matches later today. And of course, the Prince of the Rapid, Mizuha, with the current change-up of characters, which we will get into in just a little bit. But here comes the Crimson Chin. It's 2D God, Mago-san. Of course, man. I love the expressions he has and his character in general. I'm a really big fan of his. And honestly, I think he's got a really good head on his shoulders this week, considering how he's been preparing on stream with the rest of his teams. Like, they're all in sync as well. But I think his countermeasures with his group on stream, I actually had a little bit of a watch party with a friend of mine to kind of help me translate everything that was going on through Mago's stream. I think we're going to see some utilization of YHC Mochi specifically for Fudo if Ed comes up in that regard. And lo and behold, you have Tokido with Ken starting off his point, Lashar with Terry in the secondary match, Fudo is Ed in the anchor, and then old Uncle Daigo hanging out with Akuma in the back. So, kind of curious. I think it's maybe they said things on stream and maybe they mean another thing, because they tend to do that as well when they kind of like throw people off guard with fake CFN matches, or they'll like broadcast certain things and then go the opposite way. It is a possibility, but if I remember correctly, they might be utilizing YHC Mochi specifically for the Ed, but secretly, honestly, I think it might be for Lashar for Terry.
It might be. And you put Mizuha at the end for the anchor position. That could also happen. You know, Kami does really well against Ed. So having that switch-up is good. But we're going to start off, it looks like, with TS. That makes sense to me. You know, Akuma does well against Ken, I think, in terms of like the neutral. Fireball's a little too fast for him to counter poke with or counter fireball with. And his normals aren't too bad against Ken. I feel like Stamina is kind of stubby, but crouch mini kick, even though 8 frame has a lot of reach on it. You have 4 Fierce and Stand Fierce that are really good. We talk about this quite a bit. I think that Akuma can definitely keep up with what Ken wants to present. But Tokido, I mean, he's definitely an FGC scout, and if things do get dicey, he's going to be able to dissect the opponent and figure things out after maybe losing a round to get that information and then go from there. He's, again, an FGC Batman. If he gets that data, he can rock from there and take that W. He really does well against people that he knows or can study against or like match up against. So I'm sure he knew this was going to come up. Lashar after that, so we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll play Mizuha there. We'll see if that holds true in terms of Mago, what he wants to do. But I really like that you mentioned TS's growth. It's been so exponential compared to what happened last season. The way he plays on stream is the way that he plays here now. Where before he was very shaky, you see a lot more confidence. His movement is so good. So many times I see him backstep stand fierce, which is like a Shoto thing that a lot of people do nowadays. But he is so aware of what's coming through in terms of like the options. If you're going to drive impact, if you're going to hit like a heavy kick or a bigger button, he understands the ranges perfectly, and that movement has allowed him to get a lot of W's out here.
Yeah, and I think he places his normals in a timing where it's hard to even try to find a counter. I think most players that you kind of experience in ranked, you kind of see them back up with Akuma, like abusing that walk speed and then throwing at that fierce after like a slight delay. I feel like TS has like much more ambiguous timing. Like he could throw it out faster. He could kind of wait for a whiff punish. So I think that alone, like his ambiguity in timing against a lot of players, could really like set him apart from this matchup against Tokido. Right? It's really up to Tokido to catch like what pace TS is throwing down. So as weird as that is to say, there are like it actually absolutely is real when it comes to figuring out certain players' button timings. I had a long conversation about that with some of the players coming into Street Fighter League US and what they were focusing in on when it came to like practicing in Japan. There is definitely a long conversation about the rhythm of certain players. And I think TS has a very ambiguous rhythm.
At Capcom Cup, some of the players were talking about, like Shuto was also talking about this, like he like focuses on like the rhythm of how somebody wants to play, and I can disrupt that. And like how he gains the data is, I wasn't able to catch how he's able to gain the data, but he knows like when you're gonna press a button, and that's why you see like a lot of counter hits coming through from him when he plays. I'm assuming the same as with TS, like I understand you play a button at this range, and I'll be able to either counter poke you with a faster button in between these strings, or set up for like a space trap, whatever it may be. Akuma's one of the best at doing so in the first place. Like he can push you out to a distance where a stand pierce or an adamant fist might come through. Like so, Akuma's also tailor-made for that sort of playstyle. Tokido says in his interview, TS, I was longing for you. Expect my win today. So again, if Tokido knows you're coming up, you might be in trouble. However, TS says, against Ken, I did a good practice for it, and I watched his completion games. I'm all ready. I saw him playing against Ryukichi recently. He asked to get some games against Ryukichi, so I think he's going to be well informed at least of what Ken can do if he hits you. But again, Tokido's so different. He'll use Jinrai, driver's jab, driver's throw, things like that to gain some data on you and see what you're going to do, and see how shaky you are in some of these moments, and then convert from there. That is why I call him the Dissector, as if that's a real title. Either way, first match of the day, TS Tokido. Let's get it.
Yeah, so that's a really big thing, right? I think TS having the advantage of being able to check out Tokido's competitive matches throughout the CPT is what might set him apart in this matchup, right? Tokido may not have the same type of data against TS. TS primarily has been focusing on CFN and also on his streams, so it's a much harder route to kind of assemble, or at least a much harder strategy to assemble against TS with that lack of data. But we'll see. I mean, Tokido plays off against a ton of Akumas around the world. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, pretty evenly matched in terms of like the life and also the pacing.
Oh, these counter pokes just not happening at all. TS trying to go for some crouching medium punches and OD fireballs. They're not working on Tokido. Nice and close. Smell his breath. This time goes for the crouching right kick, stand fierce. Chip him out with the OD. I like that conservation of bar just to get the burnout. Ah, yeah, not high enough to fire, low enough, excuse me. TS not able to make that safe enough. Tokido, first round.
Rather difficult like situation to get out of because of how Tokido like pretty much laid out what Novus wanted to use, spending a lot of his OD to kind of force that burnout as well. I think it was really well played out, but TS trying to enforce the exact same thing from the previous round. Not able to counter the Jinrai. Not even attempting to go for the parry, by the way.
Driver's jab, the trade, the low right after though. Enhanced Tatsu. Max out that Oki corner carry. Take throw. Haven't seen a lot of counter hits. TS has not been able to find that secondary timing to get those counter hits off like he usually is able to. Get with the perfect parry to stand his ground. No back throw here.
And punish? No! On time. Yikes. Yeah, forward heavy punch. Not really going to make a move to even try to contest against that sweep. Frame data wise, it wasn't even within the same like regard, right? Hold up. Yo, the critical art? Hella damage incoming.
Every bit of bar spent. Back in the green. Some more driver's overhead, fireball, whatever you want to do. OD spent here for Tokido, the opening. Let's get the back throw here. I'm gonna force that mix. Level 2 fireball to switch up. The light one, not gonna dash up right after though. A full DDP to the fireball. You gotta be kidding me. The reactions from the Dissector, man. This guy's good.
He immediately popped off and looked towards his teammates. He pointed at somebody right next to him. He's like, "Did you see that? That was a good call, right?" That was kind of sick. He literally pointed towards his teammate and looked around. He's like, "Yo, did y'all see that?" That's kind of high.
Had to be Daigo. I don't know. Either way, Tokido locked in and clocked in right now. Prepared the fireball. Does get opened up with the stand medium. Toss him taking back to the corner. I like that back head kick usage to catch him trying to avoid whatever sort of scenario was going to come through. Cross cut deep. He can't leave for free. Nice. Blocks on the low right there. You saw the jab. Blocks at the low right after.
Oh, really tough to manage. Drive rush forward. With that jab just so quick, being able to catch the counter poke, back-to-back throws. Don't be susceptible to it. That's 3 already. That's all she wrote. Yeah, Tokido keeping the strategy nice and easy too, like the transition between like being a little bit smothering with his normals, coming in with the drive rush, and now implementing a ton of throws. It's been very, very difficult for TS to keep up with.
Yeah, overall, not extending too much, not letting that secondary placement of these buttons from TS catch him lacking. Not usually, at least. Space out heavy kick, imperfect parry, but the bar is still fine here. Tokido. Oh, as I say that, check the dash and stand light kick, level 3 immediately. A lot of players have been doing this. Spin the bar to get that lead up. Don't worry about the bar right now. Get it back in blood later on. Get that lead up. This is fine.
Oh. I like the way he was fighting it back against the approach from Tokido, but we still get that opener off of the enhanced Tatsu. This could where it can all go downhill. The overhead not blocked. Taking his turn after the block medium. TS, he needs a single hit conversion. He still has drive gauge too to make it happen. But will Tokido be able to throw his way to victory? It's not gonna happen. The low expose into the drive rush. Hanging on for another round is TS.
Saw that side walk back. TS ready to call that out with the crouching meter kick. No conversion. There we go. Commits the DRC. Take him towards the corner. That's your reward. Time to go to work. Crouch, fierce, Jinrai. Stand like kick, get the counter hit. Perfect parry. Take the turn. Back throw though. Not too bad though. Tokido still has a nice little lead right now. A lot of drop gauge to use if he needs it. OD fireball if he wants to have a rebuttal. Or parry drive rush jab. Gets close enough. Find the time. TS trying to keep it ambiguous with fireballs he's throwing out.
It's so hard though. Tokido's been doing a great job within neutral to maintain his distance and also prevent TS from coming in, right? He's taking so much damage against this Akuma without even having to force him into the corner just yet. The conversion, level 2. The burnout is there, and it's also enough damage, dude. Tokido perfectly calculated and a perfect set against TS. 2 games to 0. Damn.
You saw him walk back once again. TS got the crushing into kick punish counter, right? Try to go for the stand fierce follow-up. That usually works out. But again, as you mentioned, Tokido's been so good about walking outside the range where there'll be a follow-up where it's hard for him to be able to get a counter poke, whatever it may be. That movement that we're talking about for TS, we got to put on Tokido. And part of that has to be understanding how TS is able to play, how he was able to operate, understand the game plan overall. And the damage potential was fantastic because my man was optimal in most scenarios, either going for the chip scenarios with the stand fierces or the Jinrais or the finishes we saw right there at the end, the level 2. Well done from Tokido. Wow.
Yeah, I kind of want to focus in on this exact moment too. Actually, before the replay even happened, like there was such a standstill between the two in regards to like where they were fighting at distance-wise, like mid-screen. Tokido was just slugging towards TS, making the right like adjustments towards those normals we were talking about that TS had access to as Akuma. Like Tokido did most of his damage outside of the corner, which is a pretty huge statement. Most of the time we talk about Ken's momentum using like enhanced Tatsus, going for repeated throws, etc., and really difficult to get out of, but that was just natural bus ass. That was just like pure counterplay coming in from Tokido in mid-screen. I was very impressed.
Yeah, well done. Mago coming up. Now, to be honest, I thought Mago would come up against Daigo. We would see either Mizuha or White Shimochi here. Kind of in agreement with you, but Mago coming up right now. What do you make of this?
I'm a little bit thrown off because most of the things he was talking about in his stream kind of revolved around him like playing against I want to say like Fudo, and then he would go back on his word. He's like, you know what, maybe I'll throw in YHC. So he's got me fooled, but his current standing, it's very difficult to comprehend at the moment, right? He's only got 2 W's under his belt currently, but having to face off against the Char after fighting fighting against Momochi in the previous week, I'd imagine like he might have something under his belt to figure out like how Lashar would want to play, but of course he has to get to that point first, right? It's Terry rather than the Ed. So his anticipation for Lashar might have been misled because of the current character selection.
Lashar also, from what Daigo said on his stream, was a little bit upset about how he lost to Momochi, and so like he's even more emboldened. Even though he had gotten the victory over Aqua, he still doesn't want to let the team down. Every loss to Lashar, even if it's just like a game, it hurts him. And so from there, he's gonna get even more powerful. So it is kind of weird to see Mago willingly go up against a Terry and the Ed in the background if it does come down to it. But if the Terry is up here, there's definitely a reason for Lashar. He's been one of the best to use Terry. Like he's so wily when it comes to like drive rush. You don't know what he's gonna do. Drive rush jab, drive rush fireball. He's one of those cats to catch you lacking. So I'm curious to see what Mago's gonna have for him. Lashar says Mago wasn't expected, but I'm happy because he's a wolf and I am too. A battle of the alphas is about to happen apparently.
Yeah, this is difficult to call. I've had the unfortunate luxury of facing off against a ton of different like Terrys in custom rooms lately, and I'm starting to feel like how aggressive that character can be, but also like how quickly he can close the gap, even outside of Bird Knuckle. I think Ground Wave and Power Wave are such strong forces against Jury that it makes it rather difficult to contest like fireball to fireball in terms of like speed, distance covered, also being able to fake one out, and, like having it cut short so you could like plan maybe like an anti-air if they decide to jump over it, etc. I think Terry has a lot of great options for control and also options to close the gap, which makes me a little bit scared for Jury, but we'll see. I like the things that Jury possesses in terms of her plus frames medium. Like I think that's a great way to kind of get stuff started. I think her drive rush obviously is one of the biggest tools to close the gap and how fast she could be. But this is it right here, right? Lashar already setting the pace with those fireballs as mentioned.
Yep, the drive rush make it ambiguous. Yeah, I'm afraid like the buttons he can present, like the stand medium that confirms, been even easier for him. Cross-cut DP, perfectly done, gets to counter it. Doesn't give it to anything big and drops the combo. Very rare for Lashar to do. Mago's gonna take advantage of this, put him up in the corner, stocks up with the Quadgen. Oh, drive rush jab, just a little bit faster the draw here for Mago.
Quick bird. You get that back throw as well. And while the tip throw is happening, Lashar is just one more touch. Actually, a couple of touches of lights, maybe a heavy. We'll see how it goes. Lashar not going to be overzealous. He's going to use that space behind him to force an arrow against Mago. You have to come to him with this life lead.
Some of the things you can present, stand medium kicks, the throws, you drive rush the throw. That's the problem. It's like you can wall them out and then set the pace at your own court when it's like a one-touch scenario. And again, hard for Mago to come through. The fireball's going to stop. The stand medium, the stand light kick, also a good anti-drive rush tool. You got to worry about that crouch kick that reaches almost as far as yours. Don't stick that out too much. He might catch you.
Oh, what a whip punish. I was just outside of that range too.
Taking towards the corner, level 1. Dash up, no drive rush needed. Poking away, drive rush throw. Mago's got the lead, gets the counter conversion, pinwheel in there. BD stand medium, he backed up with the stand fierce to find a home. Perfectly done. I like that slight walk back to catch him with a bigger button.
Get off of me. The immediate bust off from Lashar. Damn, that punish coming from that far away. I like this. Now, setting up the pace once more. Lashar knocking on the doors with a couple of lights and that counter hit, crouching medium kick with the conversion. He's got level 3. A lot of damage coming in. Lashar, you can force the issue, right?
You do a lot of things. OD fireball, drive rush jab. You can just wait it out. Scoot steps forward just a little bit. Blocking low, but as soon as he stood up, the stand fierce was there. Foot out of the corner, drive reversal, back that up. It's gonna hit, it does, enough range. But that does leave Mago still in burnout right after. It's kind of a win for Lashar here. Can Mago survive in burnout? Get hella ashy. Perfect parry, not able to kill though.
Whoa. Yeah, it was just a matter of time, right? I love the interruption slightly from the initial OD Burn Knuckle. I swear to God, though, if Mago had read the second OD Burn Knuckle and went for like a DP, I would have been going nuts.
Oh yeah, that little jump back would have been sick. As it stands, so Lashard, game on this side of things, the fireballs again, disrupt that rhythm. Whip punish, the crouching medium punch. Nah, you're cracked, son, you're cracked. Ready in that proper distance, you can see him. Tantalizing that idea again.
Move forward again! And it's a counter hit against Mago. Was that meaty enough? I didn't see the screen shake.
It didn't, but Mago tried to play a button and got got.
Ooh,
oh my god.
Dude, so much mileage out of these low forwards. And I feel like that's a pretty committal button, right? I think the cancel window for that thing into like target combo is like, it's not enough to actually confirm it, right? I think it's like 13 frame window to actually go into target combo, but going into drive rush, that's even harder, man.
It's the machine himself. All right, getting the Fukushima stock up. Gonna make the most of this. Dre has some of the best corner pressure. We're seeing with Renko kicks the throw right after it. Catch the backdash. Perfect parry. Rotating the defensive options. This one's gonna work out. Quick burn, nice and close. That crouching like catching the walk back. Schedule a jab or anything like right after that, but no big deal though. At least he gets some room to roam with. And again, another space up. The timing has been ridiculous with these heavies in his hand light kick.
Damn. Can he force the burnout? Yes, you sure can. And that was hella plus. What a call out. I like that. Even if Lashard ate a level 1, he was still adamant about going into the drive impact. Well played. Yo, Lashard, 2 games straight. This is looking so dire for VARREL, right? We talked about what was on the line in regards to this being week 8, episode 8 for Division F. VARREL needs as many points as possible. That's plain and simple. Very easy to understand. They're coming in at what, 100 points. If they don't score anything before going into the final 2 weeks, then it very well may be lights out for them. But it's so difficult to ask for. Like Tokido scoring 2-0 pretty convincingly. Lashard 2-0 convincingly. I felt like every single hit was timed against Mago and just his control, right? How often do we see the games go towards the east side of the stage? Majority of the time, right? He's been in full control the entire time.
Again, playing negative frames into like a space trap, like a stand light kick. Very star-studded button right there for the character. Nothing short of amazing. Like we talk about the timing, the spacing that's been happening for these players. Lashard, instead of like other players like Tokido, just kind of held his ground and perfectly done for him. Last time, I mean, VARREL won last time. So this is such a big switch up. Mizuha comes up. He
this guy Mago's a liar,
Where's the sim, bro?
This guy Mago's a liar, bro. This guy definitely be just yapping on his streams and then pulls up on Valor instead. What a liar, man. You know, I get the strategies, so going forward, we're not even going to bother trying to translate it. That's such a waste of time, guys. I'm so sad. I'm actually so sad. I'm like, why did I stay up late to figure out what I was going to do for these last couple of weeks?
That's so horrible. But you know, it's the same thing with like Reject, where they were talking about, well, at least Daigo was, that they would play matches against certain players to throw people off guard, so they think something's going to happen with CFN. It didn't matter the last time they fought Hiroshima to Itsuka, but it's just like the same idea of like having strategy inside and outside of League. But that makes our jobs 10 times harder. Either way, Mizuha coming up, not with the Kami, but with the Mai. I'm very surprised because I feel like Kami does fantastic against Ed, but maybe it's something he sees with Mai, with Fudo. Maybe it's controlling Fudo with the fans, something that's like a player-to-player sort of aspect. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see when he pops up on the screen here.
Yeah, I am kind of curious to see like what the dynamics going to be like between Fudo and Mizuha. I feel like Fudo has had a pretty solid understanding of like the Mai matchup thus far. Really, all things considered, I think Ed could do a pretty good job of shutting down Mai within the mid-range and also prevent her from throwing out fans. I think Ed's control of the neutral game is much more effective against Mai's normal range. But I am rather fearful about like what the wake-up options are going to be like for the side of Ed. But if you consider what Japan's been leaning towards recently about like having Luke be a potential counterpick towards Mai because of his reach after like Mai's turn is over, I think the same strategy applies to Ed. just because of his normals as well, like his range as well.
Oh, 100%. How many times do you see perfect parry into like crouching medium kick and then drive rush up right after? Like having an option where you have the range out poker after like a fan tries to interact, or even if like before a fan tries to interact, you act first against your stand medium or stand fierce. It feels like the control aspect of Ed is pretty damn good. Just don't get knocked down, obviously. And Fudo, I mean, he said, I just like the my matchup the most, but I practice for characters I don't like the most, so I'll do my best. That is an unfortunate thing. Mizuha, he said, I practice for the game, so I want to give this win and give him, give Mochi, excuse me, a chance to play. We'll see if he can do so. If I have to switch over to Cammy. Starting with the Mai, Fudo, they're ready for Mai, because I'm sure he plays a million of them through ranked tournament, things like that. We'll see how this goes. Already get the counter poke, the flicker as well. Another element that might be hard for Mai to fight.
Pretty aggressive start coming in from Fudo, by the way. Does get the counter conversion into the blitz. The first DP baited out. Fudo definitely making it hurt. Trying to bait something else out. Fudo losing control now. Stuck in this corner. The perfect parry. Still suppressed by the rest of the fans. Or at least the follow-up, I should say. Level 1. Mizuha. How do you keep Fudo locked down while trying to get your drive gauge back? What a flicker against the dive bomb after the target combo. What a call out, Fudo. Insane.
This man is a lab rat for real. I think he's ready for that. Drive, rush, crouching, light kick to get on in. Knockdown, cycle blitz to keep the drive gauge as well. Toss him towards the corner like yesterday's trash. It's off the light again. Pressure mounting. Haven't we seen it from the side of Mai at all? Ooh, until the DI comes through, saw the OD, the flicker coming through, Kagero no Mai, immediately going towards that win condition. It don't matter. It don't matter to Fudo. Level 3, string him up.
Looking like a pretty strong start right now for the side of Fudo. That is 1 game under his belt. And honestly, I think he's been way too prepared for everything that Mizuha has thrown at him thus far. And even calling out that initial ODDP right out the gate, I'm like, yo, it's so hard to make that kind of read that early.
Yeah, early DP usually isn't shown. It's like mid-set sometimes, I feel like, for a lot of players. Just get the opening though with the OD. Usually try to spin some bar, just get some damage icing early. But Fudo, again, once he gets that mid-range, it feels like he gets active. Hard to read what he wants to do. Flicker right after. OD fan about the land, stand fierce. DP ender. There's a perfect parry. This one better with the follow-up. Perfect parry right back at him on the wake-up. Get that ass back over the corner. Oh, bait on the side of Mizuha this time. Level 1, gotta do it.
All right, I like that. Signs of life coming in from Mizuha with the level 1. How do you approach now? Oh my God, a big whip punish already.
On the recovery of Spark, no less. Oh yeah, commute towards the corner with some NyQuil in your hand. Grab a jab, the OD fireball, rest the drive gauge like that. Mizuha trying to place the buttons right after. Can he find a way out though?
Oh, no coverage on the jump out. Trying to go for a tech throw. Mizuha blows it up with OD upper. A little awkward too. 2 jabs into the Ryu Enbu. Have a chip incoming as well. Overhead blocked. The defense is there, and so is the super. Mizuha close to burnout. Can he force it? He definitely does. Didn't have the wherewithal to even try to go for the perfect parry. Totally understandable.
Well, that defense led to this. Fudo getting his part back. Oh yeah, backed up with the overhead lands, and Mizuha lands himself a game. Wow.
Not bad.
Oof.
Not bad. The one overhead that Fudo couldn't get away with blocking. That is tough, though, towards the end. I mean, within that range, anything could have come out. It could have been low forward, could have been the overhead, it could have been a throw, or like a walk-up delay. Everything was in Mizuha's favor in that moment.
He's keeping the positioning for that to happen, too, as well. You know, I feel like there are so many things to think about when you're fighting Mai. you don't want to be up in the corner. We've seen it so continuously. Drive for a sweep against the Spark was very smart stuff right there, cutting forward again. The punish though, ODDP for the bust out. Mizuha finding a bit of time to hit those DPs, and it's not just like for a reversal in between some strings. Nasty jump in. Careful of the drive gauge, Mizuha.
Counter hit conversion also. Get the sweep. Uh-oh! That's level 2! Nice and easy. Didn't even want to try to go for anything else extra. Gets the upper and the Cobra. Easy peasy.
Keep it simple. Blade crushing like kick blocked out. Stand fierce, the fan trying to land. Rebuttal buttons, the flicker, the charge up. I like that fierce being able to leave the corner, even though not hella plus, you know, that's fine. Objective secure to leave where she can maximize her damage and her pressure, really. Disable anti-air, perfectly done. Wakes up with the button, so a lot of reversal things on both sides in terms of like wake-up options.
Oh. Immediate break. Trying to check the walk back. Mizuha wasn't flinching. He's standing his ground. The assault comes in. Fudo has the objective of trying to get this burnout against Mizuha. Can he succeed? Counter hit instead, level 2. He would be able to succeed off of this level 2 indeed. Yes, sir! Mizuha, what do you do on defense? Bring him back in. You can't reach. Mizuha pretty much done after that. 2 games. The third game rebuttal actually coming in from Fudo a lot stronger, a lot more commanding towards the pace of that last round, forcing that burnout rather early.
Really cool at the very end for him to be able to get that side switch opportunity and then catch him lacking right after. But I do like, again, the movement that Fudo's presenting. You know, even it's not just drive rush. It's like, where am I standing? How am I going to be able to side switch outside these pressure scenarios? I do like him also waking up with Stand Fierce we saw into like the level 2. That was super sick to have that read to play like a big button on wake up, not just going for perfect parry or ODDP. He had been doing so many aggressive wake ups. I think that's why that was able to occur. And Mizuha just got caught lacking, got decked up on the chin. 2 games for Fudo. Mizuha not that far behind. It just feels like if he can't get his level 1 off or get that pressure in the corner off and getting that started, it may be a little bit more difficult as things roll through. So we do see a timeout here. I think Mizuha's trying to decipher what to do. I don't think Mai is the problem. I think if he switched to Cammy, I don't know if it'd be any better. It's just him trying to coalesce the gameplay that he has. I don't think he's that far off. He's shown that he can do it, that he can put enough pressure on Fudo to take away the drive gauge, to open him up with the overheads eventually. But I don't think the character is the problem. It's Mizuha himself.
I really don't know how to like really feel about it though, because I think Fudo has had like the matchup pretty much unlocked between Mai and Cammy. I wouldn't be against the Cammy pick either, but I don't think he did too poorly as Mai, if I'm being honest with you. I think sticking to the Mai should be just fine. But all things considered, it's one thing to play the character well on offense, it's just another thing to really predict what Fudo wants to do on defense. He's just so hard to manage. He's just so hard to keep sitting still. And that's going to be like the ultimate problem too, because like even if you anticipate movement, he could kind of like outspace you and provide a big counter poke that leads to big damage. Right? It's all considering the range that Ed likes to play at. It's so difficult to even like decipher what to do, even from like a commentary standpoint. I'm thinking to myself, like, what else can Mizuha do to force errors from the side of Fudo without letting go of momentum, without letting go of like corner pressure, etc. It's so difficult.
Yeah. It's hard because I feel like Mizuha has been trying to initiate with like OD Fireball a little bit more, but then you're spinning drive gauge and Fudo aims for that, which he does quite a bit with like sequences into flickers, like an ender. Then you're using too much and you might be close to burnout, which is a big deficit for any character, but also Mai, if she doesn't have the resources to like drive rush jab or enforce the mix with like OD Fireball, then it might be difficult for her to get going. And Fudo's so adapted at taking care of you when you're in burnout. At that point is damn well job well done. Well, it might be out here if Fudo takes this game. We'll see. Mizuha, let's see what the switch up is here, what he has to do for his gameplay. He's sticking with the Mai. It's ride or die with her. Yeah, OD fan to start things off, as said, but see, Fudo just waits for his turn, gets the counter hit. DP busting out here. Mizuha still has a lot of drive gauge to give.
Damn it, he just took that. That's what I'm talking about too. Like, you never know when Fudo wants to swing back. Like, he'll swing back against like certain instances where even if he knows he's not supposed to, he'll do it anyway. Oh, and he actually caught, but no conversion. That's on the side of Mizuha. He had a big opener and he dropped it. Huge error.
Unfortunate. Fudo pressing the issue, getting the air to air. Cross-cut button. Backs off the charge up Fierce. Back that sweep immediately. Oh, it doesn't matter. Counter hit OD. Level 1? Yeah, at the very tail to get it done. We'll get another bar in the bank right after this for a level 2 conversion if he needs it. Final round for Fudo to finish things off. Mizuha, gotta hang in there.
Oh, what a check. We do get the overhead as well, backing up on in there, still trying to steal turns. Mizuha providing the counter hit. He does have the meaty overhead again. Mizuha might be striking gold on this one. My man has been mining Fudo's forehead the entire round, and he did strike gold on that one. 2 games apiece, all tied up.
Across the head like a Dougie. Damn, Mizuha is starting to find the timings of what Fudo's trying to do, but here's the reverse thing that is going to happen possibly. Fudo just doesn't press as much. I feel like Fudo's stealing a lot of turns. He's been getting away with it earlier, but Mizuha's like, okay, this isn't real, bro. Like, stop playing like that. Like, let's look at the frame data real quick. But if Fudo just kind of blocks it out and plays like a little bit more solid, that might switch up the whole momentum back in his favor. So like, we've seen Fudo steal a little bit too much. He had games to give, and so now he can pull back if he needs to and create that variance for Mizuha. That being said, these overheads landing is a good sign. That means there's a lot of pressure from the side of Mizuha, and OD Fireball initiating with like driver throw right after or button, he's starting to open up Fudo a little bit more. So he is able to call the defensive tactics that are happening over the OD fan and able to follow up right after that. So I do think that Mizuha isn't too far behind, but what happens with Fudo just is like, I'm going to play normal. I'm not going to steal turns. I'm going to keep it honest. I'm going to go to church on Sundays. I'm going to be solid, all right?
I think that's exactly what Mizuha was expecting from the side of Fudo, right? Although he caught Fudo pressing during certain frame traps and got the trade combos off, as soon as he recognized that Fudo was trying to play it a little bit more honest, that's why the overheads were much more effective, right? Like, you come in hot with like overhead, medium, or even checking with a low medium kick. The fact that Fudo has to play second to it, like play counteractive towards, not counteractive, but just play back burner towards like what Mizuha's approach is, I think that's what's allowing Mizuha to land these overheads.
It's true. Good beats on him. Can he keep it up? Final game between the two. VARREL needs this to stay in. Oh, the punish. That medium just too far out. We talked about some of these buttons. Trying to hunt, finding nothing at all. Crouch Fierce with the wake up. What was that? Oh, what was this from Fudo? Out of the corner. We get the Oki too as well.
I couldn't tell you. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, wake up Fierce? I really don't know. We're gonna force the burnout here. So difficult. You heard the button. Do you force the chip? You definitely can off that sequence. Nice work. Good calculation from Fudo. Look at that match point. Mizuha definitely tried to squeeze in a button, and it definitely got counter hit. Can't knock him for trying.
I'll do it too. Flicker knocks him down. The empty crouch you need to kick, but you do go into burnout. Up to the enhanced fans to keep him out. But Fudo's been so good about dealing with people in burnout. Gets a side switch as well, the movement. Another Kagero no Mai helping, restocking, but more importantly, getting that defense and closer out of burnout. The objective here, able to catch the neutral jump, the flicker to pull him close. Real strike though, gets a strike, default with the counter it though. Level 2 building up. There it is. Unlocked online.
Out of the corner with the dash. Fudo, he tried to go for a tick throw, but there was a counter and it was just a little bit too much hits done on it. Not even gonna fire behind the fireball. Follow behind the fireball, excuse me.
The variance. OD, heavy, light, the drive rush, the walk up throw will do it, and that's gonna be a 40 bomber. Fudo secures it for his team. The switch up and pressure was just too much for Mizuha to handle. Fudo takes it in anchor position. Reject getting their run back, their lick back with 40 points in total. That is huge for both sides in a bad way for VARREL, though. Man.
That's probably the closest we'll ever get in regards to like the matchups this week. That was down to the very, very final game between the two. And I'm actually rather impressed to see like the way Fudo always manages to throw out different looks. But his offense obviously so threatening. It's like it felt like it was just such a drowning moment towards Mizuha towards the last couple of rounds. But taking a look at him, even from the distances that we talked about, right? Being able to control like so many spaces, so many ranges in between like normals and using special moves. It's just hard for Mizuha to navigate, right? Like you can't even successfully throw a fan without even trying to get like an install first or even creating space for yourself. But in the moments that Mizuha did strike, obviously take advantage of like Fudo's defensive tendencies afterwards, like forcing him to stop pressing buttons after like a frame trap and actually forcing him to back off, allowed him to get some of these overheads. But Fudo's overall pressure, I think, like, it was a little bit too much for Mizuha to manage. And even he tried to sneak in some normals, and he got blown up for it. And so, as soon as like that had happened, it's like, all right, well, he has to play back more often than not in this matchup. I mean, you could see how much of that really was taken advantage of by Fudo.
Yeah, even mentioning like the counterpoint game for Mai, it's so difficult as you mentioned. He tried to play stay medium and got punished immediately. So not being able to have the comfortability in the normals like you'd like to, having to rely upon the fans, like drive rush knockdown, whatever it may be, to initiate makes it more problematic. And Fudo just knew that matchup very well. We saw the flicker against the dive. That was super sick. That's like the matchup knowledge you have to have. He said he didn't like the character, so he laughed against that character intrinsically. We saw it, well rewarded. Few drops here and there, but overall the game plan was sound, and the switch up in terms of what he wanted to do as a player was even more sound too as well. We did the interview with Daigo to start things off. He was sitting in the background once again. I do want to see him in a primary position or maybe even secondary, and not just like an extra position, because I think that having Akuma on that team is such a great thing, but they haven't really needed it, I guess, that much. But I hope Daigo does get to play, because I definitely like seeing Akuma, like seeing Daigo play in general, but didn't really need him today, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, his hair was kind of standing up. It looked as if he had just woken up from a nap a little bit. I don't know if you guys caught that, but no, my man is chilling. He is not even trying to like stress himself out, you know. He's making sure that he's got the right blood pressure, he's eating well, he's hanging out, he's not stressed. I think he's doing it right. Look at him, you can see it in his hair, you can literally see it. But yeah, that's our GOAT right there. I love that for him.
That's a glow up right there. Like I said, yeah, it's fantastic. Very fun to see the team beating up every team member, even though the opponent is practicing for us. And he's right, I feel like, you know, they were probably training for them, but like the amount of work that Reject put in to avoid certain scenarios, going back to Tokido, being outside the ranges of the counter pokes that were set up usually by TS and his movement, being outside those effective domains where he'd like to play and punishing or getting his counter pokes off, just shows how much work that Tokido did, despite the fact that so many eyes are on him after like being over at the China premiere or at offline events, or how much Tokido is just out there in general. Even on CFN practicing shows that their work just was a lot more. And same with Lashar, like, man, did he have the best, like, I'm standing in place after a minus frame into button scenarios instead of walking back and having that movement like Tokido. Same sort of idea, but sort of different execution in terms of having space traps or like timings of buttons to find reward.
Yeah, where did they find that reward, man? This team is so well strung together. They're so well focused on what they need to do going into the next set of matches, man. It's hard to really contest, dude. 240 points now at the top of the leaderboard. It's insane. That is a huge step forward in comparison to the rest of the teams. Where are we at with the interviews, by the way? Did you want to take it away, or did you want me to like start off with like?
Yeah, I do Tokido and Lashar. Tokido says, I was confident before starting practice, but I got confident during practice. But that means we were able to do good practice overall, so I was able to play with confidence during the match. So, you know, he felt like a little less confident going in, but then, you know, during play, I'm assuming he found himself, and boy, he found himself. And Lashar said, 40-0 again. I'm happy to see the points climbing up to the playoffs. Well, I mean, he's a big reason why. And also something that Daigo mentioned during his stream, or his recent video you all can watch. He actually has English subtitles for that, is that they didn't want to rely upon Lashar all the time. So the team wanted to stop relying upon Lashar for all the work, and they wanted to start putting their own work and best efforts forward. And boy, did we say that today.
Yeah, funny enough, the stuff that we talked about in regards to like the interviews coming out from the side of Fudo, when we mentioned the tactics that Mago was trying to employ about like trying to throw off the teammates or trying to throw off the opposition, Fudo mentioned exactly that in his interview. He said, I was seeing Mago practice for Ed, so I was deceived by the opponent today, but I was lucky I could win. So, you know for sure that like Mago streams are mad deceptive, and I'm never gonna look at that again as like, I'm not gonna take it for face value going forward.
I will never ask them questions like that again. Like, who are you gonna play or whatever? Forget that. Maybe match
I'm not even gonna be in his
that's
chat, dude.
man.
I'm not even gonna bother. Like, I even had somebody like awake. Well, they live in Japan, so they were wide awake regardless. But we were just kind of going through it and like talking about like what he needs to do going forward to like keep his team afloat. But man, that stuff's out the window, bro. In terms of like the strategies, this guy is everywhere. It's too much for me.
Well, that strategy didn't work out today. So Gito says we're still in first place, but there's no place for underestimating the opponent. We'll do our best every week. I like the energy. No matter how solidified you are for the playoffs, do not want to let off the gas. You want to be at your best at all times. That's going to be not only just like good practice coming up for the playoffs, but just like a good statement to say, yo, we're out here being a top level team, and obviously want to be first. You be in a better position for the seeding for the playoffs as well. So there's obviously the benefit for that. Either way, Reject getting the revenge. Last time it was VARREL that took it. This time a 40 bomber. And what a statement as we get closer towards the playoffs. That's going to be happening next month. We still have more games to play. Even today, we still have ZETA going up against DetonatioN. FocusMe that'll be coming up real soon.
And that was such a complete blowout too. Like in comparison to what we're usually used to, that was like a very, very fast first two games. Like Tokido taking it 2 over TS, and I will say at least from TS's behalf, like in his defense, I think he did an all-right job of trying to contest round per round. But the Lashar versus Mago is just felt one-sided, right? I think Lashar was just completely ready for whatever Mago decided to bring to him. But still rather impressed with Fudo facing off against me. But as it stands right now, again, Reject, big 40 bomber. And it's all thanks to our sponsors being a huge part of this year's Street Fighter League Japan. Galeria being a very pivotal part of not even just like the FGC, but also a huge part of like the esports movement going on in Japan. I had the luxury of being able to test one of these bad boys out throughout the month of September. I had the luxury of being able to play on one, stream on one, and also be a part of the Street Fighter League Japan broadcast with one. Couldn't recommend it more, especially if you're in the land of Japan. So it's very great to see them as an official partner. And speaking of other official partners, we have Suzuki as well.
Yeah, Suzuki, shouts out to them for supporting. It's great to see things that are not just like video game based or technology based coming into the scene and supporting the entire Capcom esports right there. And of course, you see that beautiful Dre bike that you've seen at many multiple events. I'm sure will be at Capcom Cup. And again, if you are looking for suggestions, well, Akuma, Sagat, hopefully we get those designs because this one looks so sick. It's so sleek and the design is so perfect. I'm going to get a picture when I go over to Capcom Cup. So thank you, Suzuki, for supporting Street Fighter League and all of Capcom esports efforts and just giving more to the scene. You know, they see the power and the fun that is out here. And speaking of all the fun things that are out here for League, there's so much in terms of like what's coming up. Actually, we're just going to get right into it real soon. Here's ZETA Division Geekly and DetonatioN FocusMe coming up after this break. People, you do not want to miss it. Do not go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
さあ、やりましょうか。いい？これでおやすみなさい。え？そうね。さてと、さっさと片付けましょう。
United Kingdom.
たく、人使い荒いわ。
Here comes a new challenger. Viper wins.
速やかに消します。
空段注意。
ゲージは3つ溜まっている。そのまま中段流れるように。
いや、ごめん。
こいつふざけやがって。
はいはいはいはい、中段。ラスト中段だよ。ラスト中段。
最後ダットに
ね。ダットリキさ、不足きた。
勝つっていう気概をめっちゃ感じたね。
いや、やった。
ゴーちゃん。
ジョニー、ゴーちゃん取り返すか。
はいはいはいはい。
このしゃがみ中は差し返されているが、
まだやる。まだやるよ。
コーディ
よっしゃー。戻ります。台形からのラッシュの駒投げがちょっと全部食らっちゃってるんですけど、
あそこはじゃんけんだしね、勝利は結構全然いい選択肢だから、一回打つだけでもだいぶ黙りそうだけどね。
まあ、一回打つだけで全然違う。
こっちも勝負していいってことですもんね。
そうそうそうそうそう。
うん。OK です。いきます。
ジョニーがマッチポイント。勢いもいいままでしょう。踏み込んでくる。伸ばした。
いや、よく通した。
状態のジョニーのマリーザ。
あめんな。
おいおいおいおい。
打撃は食らえない状況。押し込んで。
はい、効いてるね。
効いてまんね。
効いてるね、これ。
これはゲージがあります。踏み込み。51リーチ。
どうだ？
ここで来るがどうだ？
と残りそう。
残りそうですね。
マジ？行くんちゃうこれ。
そのままなら？
2週間ぐらい前からザンギさんからもうマリーザの練習しとこうっていうことですごい練習ずっと付き合っていただけて、ザンギさんありがとうございます。おかげで勝てました。
ゴーちゃんがうまいだけじゃん、ゴーちゃん。
Jumping right into match number 2, ZETA Division going up against DetonatioN FocusMe. This is the battle to maintain 3rd place for ZETA. It's going to be a battle to leapfrog into the qualifying spots for DetonatioN FocusMe. Let's take a look at Yamaguchi with the unshakable integrity filling in for Kakeru, part of ZETA Division, followed by Hikaru, the chosen one, coming in with the ever impressive Aki, but also has had a couple of changes these last couple of weeks with his character. Followed by the prodigy, Taguchi with the ever impressive Guile, and I gotta say, he's been slowly starting to figure it all out in regards to where he needs to be in certain matchups. Then the one to string it all together, the silent ninja blade, Momochi, with that Ed play. And he's been doing a good job of like reconfiguring the way the team is supposed to be playing in the rest of this playoff series, or at least the rest of this season, to get into playoffs. I feel like, it's pretty impressive to see him at 150 points.
Well, their team that they're fighting today is DetonatioN FocusMe, which previously 40-bombed them. Once again, we'll see if that is going to be the case, or if it's even going to be close to the case. DetonatioN FocusMe, as you mentioned, needs as many points as possible. That playoff line, he'd even have a chance, a snippy chance, an opportunity to get up there. Let's focus in on DetonatioN FocusMe. Boy, is this team stacked in terms of talent, in terms of variety, some wily characters too as well. Speaking of that, the Trickster coming through, not with the Rashid, but with the Jamie. And sip of that sauce is John Takeuchi, young Johnny Tech. Beyond that, it's going to be the Jade Flame himself. If they got fire, he probably won't play it. Is Zalman on the kid, but most likely gonna be the mine. Afterwards, it's the unprecedented champion of mini games. Trying to do so out here in the streets. It's Goichi, #1 when it comes to Chun-Li. Last but definitely not least, it's the meal ticket. But I guess y'all want to call him the Cyclone Commander, whatever you call him. Call him up to get a victory. It's Itabashi. Zangief causing creep with that Geef, and that man could be a very dominant force today, depending on what's selected and where he is placed. Either way, this team has, again, a roster that just needs to coalesce just a little bit more. I see the players, their strength. I see the difference in terms of like the characters that they have, the variety. It's got to put it all together.
And they had one hell of a week when you think about what had happened in week 7, episode 7 specifically. We had the very clutch play come in from Goichi, being down 0-2 against Johnny's Marisa, hanging out with that 3 out of 5 matchup. I was very, very impressed to see. Like, Goichi is definitely of that nature. You give him more games, the better he'll do. And it leads me to think with this current lineup, Higuchi with Guile up front, Hikaru with Aki, welcome back with the Aki up second, and then Momochi with Ed. I would imagine they would want to put up Goichi for the anchor spot again, but we'll see. Let's talk about the first one, right? Guile. Who do we send up against that character? We have the options of Zangief, Mai, Chun-Li, and potentially Jamie from Johnny Tech.
I say Itabashi got to go up. I feel like the Jamie pick isn't the worst. Obviously, last time it didn't work out that bad for them, but, Higuchi's kind of been on a tear lately, so it's going to be Goichi off the rip. Is this a good idea? I feel like Goichi as an anchor position in the first of 3 is fantastic. I mean, you're putting him up now? Okay, all right.
I could see that. I mean, I would much prefer him like try to play off against Momochi's Ed with Chun-Li in the anchor spot. Like, I agree with you, but I mean, even according to his stats, he hasn't had the best success with the Eds. He did beat Momochi apparently on their first interaction with each other, as you can see it on the bottom right. You see the only W he's had against the other Ed players currently. On behalf of Higuchi's side, he's gotten 3 games under his belt, all outside of the anchor match. He's got 30 points. So you can see it here, like the matches where Goichi had excelled have obviously been within the anchor spot. Right outside of that, it's got me kind of concerned. I'm actually quite surprised. He is a little bit slow to start, but also he was rather occupied with another tour that led into DreamHack Atlanta, and now that that's over with, he has like full time to really focus up. With that in mind, let's talk about the strengths that Chun-Li has. I think there's a lot going on for her in this matchup to reset the timing against the Sonic Booms. I think she has more than enough to hover around the ranges that Guile would actually want to swing at because of not only the walk speed, but also really impressive normals to rebuttal with as a punish counter. Like we talk about the stab normal, forward or backwards medium punches are really, really great tool. Heavy punches as well. If it's counter hit, you cancel into Serenity Stance and continue on. I think Chun-Li does a great job. Even going into Serenity Stance just lowers her hurtbox enough to have the Sonic Boom bypass her to reset the timer that way if you don't want to commit to a jump and you don't want to see them follow it up with a drive rush. So I think Chun-Li has a lot of tools that way, but also even Hazanshi, right? Like if you read a Sonic Boom, you can Hazanshi your way forward, get a punish counter off that. There's a lot of things to get around the main tool that Guile uses to pretty much dictate the pace of the match.
I agree, and I think also the change to her legs being able to punish like -5 scenarios, it does help her out. So if like there's like a badly placed Sobot or upside down kick or something like that, it's gonna be easier for her to deal with it. It's just that Higuchi and Guile players are gonna have to figure out like the difference in timing for their Sonic Booms and Blade, and be able to make it a little bit harder for them to be able to Hazanchu or Side, as you mentioned. Because Side I think is like 7 frame startup, I believe, so it's like pretty quick. So you have all these options and tools. So as the Guile player, as the zoner, your objective is to keep them out with the difference of light, the heavy, the OD versions, the blades, so they don't get going at all, and you get that big lead, so it's harder for them to come through. Because otherwise, it's going to be hard for her to be able to initiate anything besides using her pokes. Her fireballs aren't going to work out against Guile's. His is going to be much better, so that's going to be off the table. Jumping is going to be a difficult thing because Chun-Li's jump is pretty floaty, easy for him to anti-air, and her jumping butts are okay. In terms of the interview, though, Higuchi says, I'm happy with the matchup, and I'm ready for this game. It'll be one big game that makes the season, so I'll do my best. Higuchi says it's an important match because both of the teams will get a big step up to the playoffs. Higuchi might say Guile has a good matchup, but this will be my game. I like that entry for Goichi. He sees something different. We've seen how he plays so differently in the end matchup. I want to see it here, too. But Higuchi understands the prevalence, the importance of this match. And is that the McDonald's fit? Oh, I said don't jump, and Goichi does it the first thing round start. Pardon me.
Oh. Well, we do get away past the low medium kick. Low medium kick is such an excellent party starter too for Chun-Li. We're starting to see some of the ranges where Higuchi is comfortable playing at against Goichi. Sonic Boom's doing a lot of the talking too. Yep, Serenity Stance into the medium for that punish counter. We talked about being able to hover around or even below. I don't like that one. OD Tencho a little bit off the mark.
She hit the brakes. Now following with the blade. The anti-air is there after the perfect parry. Perfectly done. Was able to get a counter conversion. The anti-air again coming through from Goichi off the heavy kick. Right into the level 2 to make sure that this kills. I do like that from Goichi.
Round 2. Fight.
Really, really well spent. Damn, the anti-jump this time to force the whiff on the anti-air. We still get the perfect parry, though, coming in from Higuchi. Being able to salvage that brief moment of panic, I will say.
The fact that Goichi's even able to jump in on a Guile player is kind of next level, even though he's holding charge as well. Careful, that Sobot, that does slow crush the crouching medium kick. We've seen it. Double drive rush light kick just to get in and get a grip. OD Fireball, he's trying to kill the drive gate. So when he stands, let's get on outside that corner, get that Oki going. Almost completed the drive gauge. OD, last minute bar. Higuchi still has the lead in health. Has level 2 for an activation to keep him out if he wants to. Can find it. They don't even need it.
Really good timing against Goichi's button pressure too. And now we're battling with the OD Tencho after the parry. That could have been an overhead awaiting his fate. That could have sealed that round for Higuchi. Out of burnout now. Higuchi has plenty to work with despite being in this corner. He's going to be tough, right? Goichi does manage to stop out the drive rush, though. How do you come back from this? Goichi has so much space. He tried to uncheck Higuchi. Not going to succeed. Not even an attempt at the anti-air either. A little bit of a weird angle, perhaps, for Goichi.
Oh, the swift thrust on slight walk up to get the confirm. Level 3, no, level 2. Couldn't go too far for level 3 just yet. Level 1 after this, he just got it. Right in the bank, right on time.
Chun-Li wins.
That direct deposit hit different. Just in time for Goichi to pay his bills. My man got the W.
Ooh, at the very end. Gucci not that far up though. I like the way he's playing in terms of defense and burnout. A good job of doing that. You find a few more of these anti-airs every so often, a little more damage off like the supers. Haven't really seen like a level 2 activation. Usually goes in like level 2 to get the lead, and then level 1 to kind of clear things off after that. That could help out. Oh, drive rush hits the brakes to throw. Goichi not getting baited at all.
You can see like Higuchi's willing to let go of charge just to kind of intimidate Goichi, right? He's moved forward just a couple of times and went back to throwing out at least 2 sonic booms. Now the drive rush comes in, right? You're starting to see a little bit of a pattern. Higuchi is trying to force Goichi in, or at least get close enough to start swinging. But Higuchi's not budging. I like that. Yeah, there's the area he was looking for. He baited out an OD Hazanchu, and now baiting out the fireball correctly, does get the jump in. A ton of damage to both the life and the drive gauge. Higuchi now forcing the burnout against Goichi while his back towards the corner. Not his turn any longer, so Higuchi's going to back away until he finds an opener. That's an excellent time to throw out that knee bullet. An excellent time to start enforcing those frame traps.
Hey, that's a win for Higuchi. No bar in the bank right now. Goichi back with drive gauge, but nothing at the bottom. Slaying out those sonic booms continuously. There's the OD to cover some space. Too far up to whip punish that stand light kick, upside down kick, trying to crush again. The crouch to kick, nothing doing. Sonic boom. Kills him with a drive gauge. He caught the Hazanchu with the heavy. Wasn't ready to convert, but still, this is a big lead. 18 seconds on the clock. Time is winding down. The blade to lock him down. The flash kick. You are out leaving Goichi. You are something different. Not capable of dashing in. We'll have the facilities for that one.
My man is trying to stave away from danger. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't have to fill out that application nor put the fries back in the bag. He's got the outfit, but he ain't trying to work there, Goichi. We're just about to say on the hustle, but we do get the explosive OD flash kick coming in from the side of Higuchi to force Goichi back a little bit. Despite the deficit, Goichi still has to try to close the gap or else face the repercussions of a lot of sonic booms. Okay, let's get the counter conversion off with the jab.
And the fake out too as well. The throw. Crouch fierce because it lurches forward. Goichi special for sure. The perfect parry on the walk up. For that jab, it finds its thrust instead. The jab was just a setup for the better button. Set point. Goichi is running this correctly. Yeah, it might be time to go to Indeed.com, Higuchi. I can't lie. The way my man Goichi is playing this right back at him. And the level 2 coming through against the drive rush button. Take him towards the corner.
I like that. Goichi having modern reactions, man. This guy's staying sharp and excellent usage of the medium. Like, it doesn't even have to be towards like the fireballs either. Just reacting to the drive rush accordingly. That was mad impressive. Drive rush, we do get the low medium kick, linked into the flash kick plenty of time.
There we go. Finally level 2, but the drive reversal comes through and Goichi still has some bar to work with. It's gonna be gone soon. There it is. But she can play in burnout as long as she gets that bar to level 2. Might be okay. Even level 1 is okay. For a bust out, if there's any gaps. Can we press the issue? Can we force the issue for that to happen? Just giving him the bar back. If you're willing to block this out for the chip, that's fine. Back the bar, OD fireball, back those positions.
That's huge. And a backdoor run again for Higuchi. He's like, I really don't want to put these fries in the bag. Oh, we got the McDouble up though. Goichi. A McFlurry of different options right now. Hold up. Is the ice cream machine actually working at this hour? Goichi's about to answer that question. Oh, and it does! Yes, sir! For another swirl run on the top. Hold up. Let me get these sonic booms coming in, fam. Let me get it to go.
OD fireball trying to find out. Goichi. Got the bar to utilize. OD fireball again. See what the crouch fierce. Hazanchu. Is that gonna be enough for the chip? It is!
Ooh. Big Mac damage. What a beast, dude. The double quarter pounder with bus ass. Goichi, 2 games straight. What a call out on the chip damage. Jesus.
And don't forget my sauce. And don't forget my sauce, says Goichi. What a chip. Perfectly done the calculation. Not only for that, but also the anti-drive rush stuff that we saw continuously was nothing short of excellent. Whether it been jab, counter hit, and the crouching medium kick for a follow-up right after, or we saw level 2 against drive rush stand light kick, which is a big initiator for Guile. So many different options. Goichi just had the reactions and was ready against the fireball play, as you mentioned, the slide, even the jump ins. How are you jumping in on a Guile player? Yeah, it's time to go to McDonald's, my boy. It's time to hit a different occupation. If you're not able to anti-relax of this character, but then again, it's Goichi. It's hard to read what he wants to do. There were so many good moments that FUKUSHI did have, though. I will say that he did get some moments of pressure, but you didn't see like level 2, level 3 in terms of like those explosive damage moments in terms of super being used. 10 points that nation starts off very strong right now. See if we can continue. Who goes up against Hikaru?
そうですね、150ポイント単位になっています。
Ooh. Honestly, I
では
would.
中堅戦を戦うホームチームの
I wouldn't be
出場選手
surprised
主要
if
キャラクター
Itabashi
操作タイプ
stepped
の
up to
申
the
告
plate.
リーダーよりよろしくお願いいたします。
Ooh.
はい、中堅、板橋と板橋ザンゲフクラシックできます。お願いします。
板橋残業クラシックで
It makes a
よ
lot
ろ
of
しく
sense.
お願いいたします。
I
も
don't
う
think
何が何
there's
だ
a
かわかり
lot
ません。
of like pressure against Zangief in this matchup, right? Like he doesn't
まあ
mind
でもそんぐらい前
going
向
up
き
against
な
fireballs, going up against the lashes. I think it's more so the intimidation factor of the headbutt and also being able to like steal turns away from Aki is what's really difficult too. And if we're thinking about it from a shallow perspective, if like Aki does decide to try to find an escape route outside of super, it's throwable, by the way. Like using the OD slither to get to the other side, it is highly throwable. And like, you know what, Itabashi's totally fine with that. But I like Itabashi being able to close the gap in this matchup. I think him also having Fierce or parry to like nullify fireballs from certain ranges is totally fine with him.
Yeah.
I think this is the matchup that Hikaru kind of dreads.
I think most people dread when you have to fight someone like that's like a gambler like Itabashi. You don't know how to read what he's going to do because he has so many cute little resets that he'll do here and there, and you have to really prepare for Itabashi more than you prepare for Geef. But even on top of all the things that you were saying, jump, medium kick, like a dive kick, is very hard for her to continuously anti-air. Like once he gets to that range where he can call out that light lash, as you mentioned, the parry is there, the stand fierce is there. Then there's also the jump medium kick that can just have that downward reach, almost like a dive kick that will catch before her heavy lash can come out, medium lash can come out. So that might be problematic. Even a heavy kick will get jumped in on and blessed. So I'm sure he's looking to keep him out as much as possible, but Itabashi might be able to find a way in. So I'm very curious to see if Hikaru has, or what Hikaru's game plan is to be able to fight someone like Itabashi, even beyond Geef. Like, how do you fight Itabashi himself?
はい、ゴーちゃんがもうめちゃくちゃいいプレー見せてくれてね、まあ自分はああいうのはできないなとは思ってるんですけど、ちょっとね、
I'm trying to see something real quick. I'm trying to see like what the matchup was between them
必要かなと思っております。
prior
ヒカルを強く投げちまうかもしれないですけど、
between ZETA and
ちょっとね、それ
DetonatioN
は
FocusMe.
ヒカル好きなんでね、あんま痛めつける気
Is
は
that
ないで
week
すけど、
3? It was week 3. Okay.
強めにいっちゃうかもしれないですね、これは。
Yeah, Itabashi kind of beat the brakes on him. He lost the first game. It was rather like slow paced, but it was 2 games straight right after from Itabashi. I think he's like that was when we were convinced. It's like, all right, Itabashi has this pretty much in the bag. And funny enough, yeah, we mentioned this earlier. DetonatioN FocusMe actually got the big 40 bomber against this team, so maybe they can do so again. I really think that Itabashi enjoys this matchup.
If you were willingly going up against Aki, you probably do. And Hikaru though says, I am confident in this matchup, so I'm feeling good with this game. It's also birthday for Aki, so I'll celebrate with a win. Ooh, don't lose in front of your girl. On her birthday, that's the worst gift you can give her. That's a bad idea. And it might just happen. As you said before, first game went to Hikaru's favor, and the last 2 after that, and that first 2 were in Itabashi's favor. So Itabashi says, Goichi did a great job. I do a good job in a different way. I might throw a bit too strong, but it's nothing on you, Hikaru. So maybe saying he's going to grab or go for grapplers a little bit more often. I don't know. But either way, Itabashi, I think if you've already won, if you've already won once, you probably understand the matchup. And again, preparing for Itabashi is such a difficult thing. You can prepare for Kobion or other key players, and they have at least a decipherable game plan that you can see and say, oh, this is why they're doing this. Itabashi is a different beast. He's always been like that since he's been playing any fighting game. It's so hard to read what he wants to do.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the case, right? He could be throwing his opponent off, but at the end of the day, he wants to make sure it's nothing personal, kid. So we'll see if he's going to stick to the strategy of throwing out as many grabs as possible. If it's going to be like high-end reads from the side of Itabashi, which we're not going to be too surprised with. Hell yeah, he's going with the Gundam Wing outfit Mecha Zangief. That's what I'm talking about.
I love that. Hear the effects as well. Running bear grab, I like the jump back. Does block in time to stay fine though. OD covers a little bit later, or less, I mean, than the normal one. Not afraid of the poison.
Yeah, that running bear grab is terrifying. out. But either way, I mean, funny enough, like, it's faster startup, but it's the same recovery for both OD and regular.
Oh, never mind though. Hikaru taking the first game, baiting out the OD Laureate against the Fireball. Had something new for him first round, but this is how it went previously. Hikaru taking the first game. If it goes down to it, I try to prophesize no demise. Perfect parry, get that jump in the trade. Better off for Hikaru. Was on the poison again and back to that Fireball game. Medium lash, I think faster now. Easier to anti at that rate. Not closer up though.
Poison doing a lot of damage too for Hikaru. Okay, we do get the punish counter against, what was that, the forward fierce attempt? I actually didn't get to
like
see
it.
on there.
Oh, there we go, Hikaru. Just communication with that super. Being able to seal the deal, poke prodded. Nice and comfortable right now. He's at the proper range where it's even beyond, it looks like, Light Lash, or at least ambiguously around where Light Lash would be at, or even Fireball. Hard for Itabashi to get like a proper jump in. He tried to go for jump fierce, that traded. Medium Lash is doing a lot of work. The Fireballs as well. And he does land at least one SPD, but not enough to make Hikaru shaken up. Get his revenge, jump medium kick, blocked out, back that swing from the SPD. No grabs here.
There's much more convincing for this side of Hikaru. Forcing himself into burnout against Hikaru. You have 0 bars to your name. You're going to guarantee hella chip and also the drive impact. Put the funnel on him. That's game over for this round. Hella damage, hella bar being built, and great momentum for Hikaru.
Oh, nice whip punish to start things off though. Stand like the pivotal tool for the character. Caught him trying to walk back with a low though. Slither on in with a throw. Fireball to lock him down. Drive rush crouching mini kick. No overhead. Is on the precipice right now of losing all that drive gauge.
Yeah, there's so much more control from Hikaru, right? There hasn't really been like too many like really big openers from the side of him outside of that drive in. You know, that drive rush is the exact opposite of the point I was gonna get into. And it's kind of funny that he just did it right when he mentioned that. Or right when I mentioned that. Jesus Christ. Funny enough, as much as Hikaru's been like commanding the pace, Itazan was the one with a better win record against him too. Yeah, level 3, critical art specifically. It feels like it might be super bad for Zangief, but I just feel like it's not. I really don't feel like it's not.
So whenever I watch this matchup, all it takes is like one good jump in. It's like the Gao matchup. If I get my jump in, I get close to you, it's damn near over. Even worse because she doesn't have a reversal. Like she ain't spinning like a flash kick like Gao would. She has to use level 3. We're having to use that for like a combo. Hikaru's just playing so well, at least right now. Getting the bar built up. He's doing a good job of zoning, anti-airing. But all it takes is 2 good reads for Itazan to get that blood back. Anti-air's there with the crouch heavy kick. OD Fireball, the poison's on. Extensions could come through, go for more damage. Oh, but you're tapping parry in front of a grappler's face. It's a bad idea. Get the crouching punch on his wake up. Nice and close.
I feel like so long as perfect parry exists for the side of Zangief, I think he can navigate this just fine. Oh, you got the guess, Playboy. Drive rush forward, guess again. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. Like, it is like it just forced errors, and Hikaru having to be susceptible to that. And even Itabashi is like, I can't believe that worked. He was hella laughing.
Nice drive impact, son. Hold these buttons. Eating right through. Having enough help to like take these transactions every so often. You can get anti here and there. It's not going to be that big of a deal in some cases. And, you know, you'll take these trades as long as you get in. Get that SPD going. That damage is going to be heavy. Perfect parries, he inches forward. Drive rush, stand medium. Drive rush again with the lights. Oh, but the low profile. That is one good thing that you can do if you see the charge up stand fierce. Snake kicks can go underneath. And low options blow up that fierce. Perfect parry trying to inch his way in. The anti-air is there. Carl with the lead. How long are we keeping this?
Poison's really racking up against the side too. trying to get the perfect parry outside of the range of sweep. We do get the Serpent Lash coming in from Hikaru. Looking at match point yet again. Yeah, the puddle's been doing a lot of the talking, right? Like, although Hikaru's not landing as many hits, it's been mostly the poison, but now it's Itazan's turn to play. Headbutt, force him back down. We get the stomps into the Lariat. SPD, one more gas, and it's lights out. You can see the momentum being pressed against Hikaru. That could have been it. He could have been able to grab.
He said he was gonna do. We're gonna grab him. Don't let him. Do not let him get started. Don't get started again. Full screen. Even though you're lacking in health. Oh, never mind. The instant overhead is fine. The read to the gambler workout. Final game, final round. I don't know how you can start feeling sorry for Geek. We've seen what happens when he gets on his side of things.
Dude, how the hell was that a punish counter, too?
Expecting a button. Oh, no.
I didn't even see what normal was pressed prior. That was my mistake, though. I blinked. I still can't believe it, though. Like, that's a wild. Oh, no way you're within range. I knew it. I knew it. I was about to say, like, Hikaru, I think he might have backdashed, right? But this is huge. This might spell the death of Itazan with the amount of ranges pushed between Zangief and Aki. It's near full screen, right?
Wants to overextend to get the win. You're chilling. You're actually going in for the burnout. Oh, he wants to ensure
no
the
way.
first light kick. The match with the 4 frame. Takes a turn back. The fairness of burnout. Going to town. I rule all I survey. Sneak back with a board. Command grip. I'm doing the grappling here. It's me that'll grab, not you.
Whew. Thank God. I was terrified because, like, I was thinking to myself, like, I think there might be time to maybe squeeze in a Fierce, like a charged Fierce, but I didn't get to see it from Itabashi at all. Like, in between the moments where you actually can hold that Fierce and force a trade against, like, the frame traps that Aki was laying down. I kind of want to try that out in the lab later. I'm definitely going to mark this part of the stream. I'm going to do that exact sequence and see if there's a possibility for Itazan to do, like, a charged Fierce to like, absorb a hit and then maybe trade off into the next hit. And if you charge it enough and it's like a trade off the Fierce, it does knock back the character. It does knock back Aki a considerable distance away. So I really want to see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I wonder. Because I feel like at least towards the end, you might have gotten your bar back at least around that same time, but we got the distance to not to deal with the command grab mix-up. Regardless, man, Itabashi just got out-grappled at the very end. 10-10. Zeta still in, and Momochi remains. Who do we send up?
Nauman.
Part of me kind of like, yeah, I was going to say Nauman. But I would like John Takuchi, but I don't think it's probably that fun for Jamie to have to run against a litany of fans coming through, especially if you don't have the stocks up. So, yeah, now, man.
はい、大将、ジェイミー、あ、違う、竹内ジョン、ジェイミー、クラッシュ。お願いします。
ありがとうございます。竹内ジョン選手。
Damn, son. Perfect. You know what? I like this. I like this much better than any other minor.
Do you?
Well, I mean, just decision-wise. I don't know what the matchup is like between, like, the current roster of Jamie players facing off against Ed. If I'm really thinking about it, it's hard to determine what Jamie needs to do to close the gap against Ed. However, I think because of the space that Ed wants to be at, I think it's easier for Jamie to possibly sneak drinks in. I like Jamie having access to dive kick, Bakai against any of, like, the flickers, or even against the spark. I think I like dive kick way more than Bakai because of, like, the inconsistencies of that move. So outside of that,
yeah,
I think forcing really awkward situations against a character that doesn't have defensive measures allows you to even set up command grabs even better if you get access to level 3. But also, standing medium punch is just so buff this season. Coming in from Jamie, whether it's like hit or block, I think more so on hit is where the buffs are, because being able to naturally combo into like a crouching medium punch is huge this season. Even upon counter hit, you're allowed to get a crouching heavy punch with a pretty fat link for fat damage that leads into palm. So
yeah,
I think if Jamie does manage to score a knockdown against Ed, I like the offensive pressure that can come from it.
even for John Takuchi and the way that he plays, I feel like when we watch him, he's able to get to at least drink level 2 without expending his health to do so. When you watch a lot of like the other, I guess, lower JP players, they're losing so much health before they even get access to like their drinks. They're getting hit before that even happens. You know, but I feel like Johnny Tech is like securing hits that he needs before things get dicey for him to have to expend health to get those drinks. He's not getting too risky, but he's still aggressive enough where it's happening, where it's working out. I feel like his Jamie is on the precipice of finding something new with the character that other JP players should be looking forward to in terms of how to play the character without losing half your life bar before he gets 3 or 4 drinks. In the Momochi in the interview, excuse me, Momochi says it was an unexpected matchup to fight with John, but I've had practice against Jamie, so I'll do my best. So we weren't really considering it, but he's had practice. And I wonder who that practice is. It must be Naru. It's gotta be Naru.
Was that a Halloween joke? Momochi's not impressed.
He's like, I'm not good at this.
Momochi is definitely not impressed. He definitely muted the hell out of John Takeuchi. So, if you guys haven't noticed, what really puts John Takeuchi in the mood is like saying a joke before every game. That's literally been his shtick since like the last, I want to say, the second half of the season, and he's been doing pretty well. We'll definitely get the jokes in soon via translation. We'll probably get to say it. I'm not too sure if we will. But so he was imitating Itabashi Zangief on Halloween. I don't get it, but you know, hey, to each their own. Right. Like, you do you, brother. Whatever makes you feel good, hey, I'm about it. Whatever gets you in your groove, do what you gotta do, brother. But talking about the matchup at hand, you know, would it be too far-fetched to give Jamie Bakai access to Bakai at level 1? I feel like that's a lot, no? This question is also open to chat, because I don't know how else to change this guy. I really don't know how else to change up Jamie.
With the inconsistencies to that move, I don't think it would I don't think it would push him to be like a top tier broken character out here, you know. So he should have that. I don't know. Oh yeah, heavy kick starting things off, drive rush right after, get the grip and get the sip. It's like the Blas special. Like, Blas loves to start off with heavy kick a lot to initiate. John as well, harassing with that medium. Counter hit, DP. Oh, he wants that Oki. Side switch, gonna buck the cross up. John puts himself in the corner. Gotta be careful now. Don't let him get started. Oh, she's trying to do so. And proper range to drive rush in with the mediums. Stand fierce and flicker. Careful the drive gauge. Like the rebuttals here from John Takeuchi. He's playing bigger buttons, trying to find an opening. We're punished on the wreck. I'm very surprised. And I wonder if drive rush stand fierce might also be a thing, because it's a 5-frame startup. Faster buttons against the slower buttons that Ed will present. Oh, the toe tap, catching the spark. Knockdown, meaty stand medium, toss him. When he DP, the bust out is there. Some distance, Momochi. Low on health though. About to have access to level 2, could definitely equalize with a sleepy time.
Still hanging on to one drink. Now we're drinking the whole bottle. Oh, he tried to move on in. Do you drive reversal this? You sure do. This isn't too bad. Punish counter off of the step. Forward roundhouse, being able to get the rest of that link. That was a punish counter, so that's gonna be a combo. Nice work, Johnny Tag. Look at the pressure already, right? We've talked about what happens if Ed is under pressure. He doesn't have necessarily the best defense. Without super, that's a counter hit as well. It's the 1-2-3.
Like an opening.
To the uppercut. Continuation out to the sweep for another drink. This is looking great for Johnny Tag. A little bit overzealous, trying to sneak in maybe a throw. Momochi creating a lot of space for himself, dashing up on in there.
Welcome jab. Punish counter, getting the knockdown with the DP. Kill rush in with the meaty stand fierce. Johnny Tag up in the corner. Level 2. Let it rip up. Right here. Oh, the damage is so significant. God dang. Cycle blitz. Perfect parries. And gets a back throw. Dash up throw again. Yeah, you see him staggering every so often for that DP. Slower on the draw, though. Still a very nasty option. Drive rush jab is the entry point. Level 1 is the closer.
Close knit between the two right now. Johnny Tack still got 2 bars to his super, excuse me.
Only a strike distance, not throw distance. Did it twice, though, this time. He was holding parry, but wasn't in parry recovery, so he's all right. Driver step. I was wondering when that button was going to come through. Quick-ass button against a slower button. Gets a full quarter conversion. Oh, my God.
That was hella damage, too.
He ain't lying. Oh, Tech. Those not connect. Four Fierce trying to get that crouching kick right after. Gonna toss him. I'll take some one perfect parry. Maybe like a Stan Pierce to get in. Back throw though. At a deficit with no drinks. I think his reliance upon like level 2 is kind of smart if he can get the kill or a follow-up. But without that, he's got nothing to his name for a dive kick, a Bakai through a fireball. Sneaks in a sip. Here's the level 2. Locking him down. The push, the toss. That's the round. Momochi. Real sleepy time. I like the idea from Takaguchi to go for like a level 2. I think that's very smart if you can get the damage going forward, which we kind of saw. Momochi's been able to have some rebuttals. He's been able to survive and weather the storm of my man's drunken assault. So I feel like if you're Momochi, you have the right idea. Just don't let him drink. As simple as that is to say in grazing, something that Momochi has been focused on, and John is going to have to go for more of these drinks in the neutral. Give up Oki to do so.
I mean, he's already got 1 so far, but at the cost of like momentum, at the cost of like getting hit. Really, really difficult to find really find the time to at least enforce pressure before he gets these drinks, because even off of these hits, right, they're still able to like have access to drink if need be. But right now, John Takaguchi, yep, gets to swing another one off of the throw. Rather difficult, right? Very much so easier said than done in this case. The damage, son. Even before he even gets to level 1, his damage output is insanely sick. Well, okay, let me pump the brakes a little bit. It's not like super insane, but the fact that he does get those conversions or has access to them is pretty good.
Yes, conversions themselves that he gets the follow-ups. And Driver Step is doing a lot of work. I want to see more of that from John Takaguchi. Fast button to employ, great entry point. Here we go, though. Once again, on the bed. Put this man to bed, put him to sleep. The 4 Fierce does not connect. The charge up Stan Pierce and the flicker to kind of route things back. A little bit of drive gauge damage. This time a block from the drive rush Stan Pierce. Tap parry, going to be tossed.
Damn, that was deep. And it was a counter, and it was enough to throw out low medium kick. That was kind of sick. Plenty of counter hits to convert off of level 3 incoming. You build up some drive gauge to yourself to do a drive rush forward. Drive rush cancel off of a normal if need be. So you have a lot of juggle potential coming in. Not quite dead. And you tried to go. Momochi walked forward. Yo, Momochi walked forward underneath the dive kick. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, how did he know? But he commits to the bit with the flicker, gets jumped in on those. John Takaguchi stays on and gets the game on the board. Oh, they are fighting. I like this. It's going down to the wire, I feel like. Final game, final round, possibly tight beat. But John Takaguchi, again, he's been finding better buttons in the neutral, more access to drinks instead of relying upon level 2. I like that idea, but Momochi's been surviving the level 2 way too much.
That's actually kind of wild. I can't believe he actually walked forward as soon as he saw Jamie move up airborne. That was pretty sick. Either way, all tied up, 1 game apiece. A little bit low on the drive gauges this side of Momochi. Now he's at least able to get a normal cancel into drive rush cancel. Speaking of which, John Takaguchi tries to do the same. This is the point where Momochi can kind of walk forward, can kind of enforce blocks against John Takaguchi, but now the side switch. Pretty important for John. He gets so much to work with. Kill rush. No way you get the exchange. Momochi. So efficient. Did you see that trade-off to force the burnout into the level 1? That was actually godlike.
The awareness. My man's in the lab for a long time. Reaps the rewards. Palm gets a sip, but it doesn't matter. Mochi right back in there with a DI. You're dead. Just had this awareness, those moments of like scramble scenarios and having to follow up to also kill the drive gauge. This guy is well lab, well studied. Almost got the shimmy with the stand pierce, try first jab, knockdown. Wakes up with a crouching kick to catch whatever came. I don't know what button that was. We'll get a swing as a reward. Jump heavy kick with the drivers right after it. Yes, sir, in the palm.
Oh. Help me. Oh. We do get the free flow. We do get the drink afterwards. We get two a little bit more threatening. Can't really throw out the spark into the fireball. We do get the juggle off of that. Sweep into the third drink. Counter hit as well. What happened? Johnny, what happened? You had a hit. No way, dude.
Could have killed.
Why? What happened? That was it, brother. That was the rest of the game. Did you actually reset? He's not dead. No. Buckeye against the flicker. Are you kidding me? Nah, this character's good. This character's good.
Never mind.
Never mind.
We must simply be better. We must simply be better. John Takeuchi with the knowledge, with the execution. Now level 2. Reversal jabs though again. Mochi's been so well to do in terms of playing around what needs to happen for the gaps, making him waste that bar at the bottom for the level 2, so it doesn't become a problem. Can't find a jump in. A lot of walk-ins right here from Mochi. Side switching. Walk up throw. Oh, +1.
Oh, no way you whiff punish that. Are you kidding me? That is such a slow start. This guy, Johnny. Oh my God.
Stop the activation point. Definitely understandable, but level 2 is still there. You know, Takeuchi will go for it. Level 2 for the son of Mochi to waste some drive gauge. Right reversal at the very end. They'll find an activation point. Not gonna overextend too much like a palm. Would have got by Mochi. OD, chipping away, back throw, side switch. This could be it, unless John can find a way to activate that level 2. There it is. Drive reversal, we baited out. The dive kick against the throw, possibly. It's just too much in terms of like a lead from Mochi. Game up, but Johnny Tech has had some great ideas in this matchup. Just a few moments away from taking it, though. It ain't too far behind.
And that was at a moment where he had to guess between the strike throw, but the backdash came through from Mochi to get the punish. Johnny Tech needs to put himself on the board at least for 2 games. Mochi looking rather comfortable at least towards the end of game number 3. That was a very deep cross up. Mochi not ready for it. Free flow kicks into the drink. Very far reaching dive kick. Mochi coming in with the counter. Or at least the defensive back throw, excuse me.
Trey with the crouching medium kick, trying to walk him down. It's a low instead of a throw. Back in with that range just in case. Tries to get that jump in. Flicker. Fireball, no. It's going to be a dash of flicker instead. What a check. Mochi now connecting it heavy. Not able to kill just yet. One more touch. Touch gonna throw will definitely do some damage here.
Damn, son. Mochi is making quick work down below. John Takeuchi getting caught walking backwards a good amount of times. Now, match point for Mochi and Team ZETA. Drive reversal. Get off of me.
Trade, Rekkas. Mochi harassing that drop cage after follow-ups. It's been a big proponent for him so far. How much can I kill the drop cage? Even if you're blocking, I want that bar to be dropping. Whatever it takes. Bar believe at the bottom here from Mochi though. Level 2 coming through. Don Julio flow. Does not get a jump in against the throw. No big deal though. Come here.
Rather difficult to navigate. Mochi's been doing a great job of playing this kind of neutral game where he's kind of like threatening with the flickers, threatening with the sparks. Now it's John Takeuchi catching Mochi off guard with the drive rush forward. 5-framer fierce, by the way. You get the back row as a punish counter. Now Mochi gets to do a lot of the speed bag work. Back-to-back throws. Cobra strike. Huge you just walk up? You brave man! The Devil Unleashed! Oh, you didn't even get the delayed. You got a hit and draw by the OD. That's gonna be enough. Momochi securing the victory, increasing the lead against John Takeuchi and DetonatioN FocusMe. Exactly what they need going into week number 8. 180 points now to DetonatioN FocusMe's 150.
ZETA Division Geekly doing wonders out here. And honestly, I feel like that matchup, whether it's rough or not, is more about a tendency thing than it was really, oh man, Ed beats Jamie or whatever. It was a lot of catches on the walkbacks. It was a lot of pressure in level 2, surviving level 2. And that's a thing that John Takeuchi, I think, relied upon a little bit too much. I know it's hard to get going and get your drinks going, especially against a character that can outrange you a lot. But Driver Stand Fierce into like a swig was actually working out quite a bit, and I'm surprised it didn't. Well, it wasn't like a continuous thing for John. He would wait for level 2 to get popped off, and then he would go in, and then Moshi would just survive. You know, he's like, I'll chill right here. Back set, you see the low right after. He's so good about dealing with the tendencies of John Takeuchi over just like a matchup thing. But there's some cool things here that make me think that Jamie, again, or John Takeuchi isn't that far behind from accessing more of the characters. So either way, ZETA Division 30-10 over DetonatioN FocusMe. Those last two players getting the win, even though Hikuchi kind of got dominated. Hikaru, Mochi were able to clean it up and close shop.
Not too bad at all, though. Again, really close in. I feel like round for round between Momochi and John Takeuchi. It would have been, I feel like, a different story if John Takeuchi had not gone for that, like, driver's forward standing light kick into like the command grab reset. But funny enough, yeah, he actually did still win that round, right? That was the Buckeye round. So
yeah,
maybe not. So maybe not.
I do like the reads from Momochi. Again, I don't think it's like a character thing. You know, like level 2 usage was pretty good, and level 2 is still strong. I think level 2 is great. Like you saw, we can enforce plus frame scenarios and things like that. But it's better when they've lost so much drive gauge. When they've already lost quite a bit of drive gauge, can enforce pressure right after. But Momochi also kept up his gauge very well. So like these are things that are more on Momochi's side than it is like a matchup or Jamie super weak, whatever. They should maybe make some alterations to that character, but I think just Momochi's play and his study did fantastic. Yamaguchi was on the bench today in the extra position, so in the interview for him, they haven't had to use him thus far since his introduction, and I'm assuming they would not like to in general. But he says it was the most important match of the season, and the team was really nervous this week. It was great that we were able to win, though.
Yeah, no doubt. Right, like having a big victory like that to excel you to 180 points is a pretty significant deal. Like the only main focus, the only enemy you have to focus on now is DetonatioN FocusMe. It's like all you have to do now is just continuously gatekeep this team. And to be fair, it's not really up to them anymore. I think, I mean, again, since they've played them this week, DetonatioN FocusMe has to face off against the following teams now. Reject, which is a pretty big deal considering how successful Reject is. And then they have to face off against Team VARREL. And their last time they played against VARREL, I want to take a look at how they did. They did manage to beat Team VARREL. But their last interaction with Team Reject, let's see, didn't end up so hot. So, just based off of decisions, right? Or previous stats, I'm inclined to believe that ZETA is in good hands, especially with Reject and VARREL at the helm. I think they're going to be just fine to maintain the lead. As long as they don't like go like 0 points for the next 2 weeks, I think they're okay. Because they have to face off against IBUSHIGIN next week, and then they have to fight off agaast Hiroshima Team Ikaza afterwards. Oh, that's tough though. Damn.
Oh, Hiroshima Team Ikaza, one of the most dominant teams. Oh. And even the matchup list of that also is kind of wily too as well. You have Lily, you have one of the best ends of the business right now. That is so different than your Ed. You have one of the fastest candy players, or the fastest candy player you could ever think of. And Aqua, who knows what he's going to pull out? JP, Blanca mostly, but maybe C Viper, so that's going to be difficult. It's a day for another day, though. Higuchi says, my game was this close to winning, and it could have been 40-0, but great that we won. I'll do better next time. Hikaru says, I had confidence in the matchup, but there were scary scenes. Could have changed everything. Determination is the way to go. Yeah, those scary scenes are with that big muscle guy is jumping in on you with jump medium kick or jump fierce, and you're praying your anti-air works out. But he kept cool, calm, collected, and he did space out Inabashi continuously, so he couldn't get in. So that being said, Hikaru did a great job of winning there. The interview from Momochi as well.
Yeah, we are getting like the rest of the interviews coming in from the captain Momochi. Funny enough, like with how much is on the line with getting this big W, I mean, you can feel like the tension, you can feel the nerves coming in. You have that kind of statement being made by a couple of his teammates already. Even Momochi, he had ringed in with, I was nervous today. Might have been the most difficult game this season. Great that we won on the away side. And he ain't wrong. He definitely ain't wrong. He's got the right ideas with week number 9. Now they switch over to the home side against Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. And in their final week of this season, they're back on the away side against the number 2 team of the league.
Away side to fight the number 2 team that has been previously number 1 and very, very dominant. That's a hard ask, but you know, ZETA having an extra player, feeling a little more informed, and I feel like Higuchi losing is going to put him back on track to what he needs to do. I think Higuchi was just way too prepared for that matchup, and this playstyle just counters Higuchi very well. So I think Higuchi and the entire team will be just fine when they fight and be able to give them a decent fight. I don't know who's going to win between Hiroshima Team Itsuka and them, but who can tell when it comes to Street Fighter League? It's very difficult. But regardless, Momochi notes that really close to the playoffs, go to the playoffs automatically. We'll do our best to get there. So they have to again put in that work and make sure that other people don't put in their effort too as well, or counter their effort, get that W. A lot of things going on in Street Fighter League. Our last match, Hiroshima Team Itsuka, we're talking about them. We'll be seeing them soon, going up against Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. The latter needs as much as possible, and we need to actually pick up one of these. These guys are sick. This controller is so dope. They have leverless, they have levered, they have all of your needs met. They have a handle, and I can hear them playing and tapping them with the background. I wish I was doing that too as well. The pull-out cord is super sick. The fact that you have a retractable cord, so it's not getting in the way. And as you mentioned, you can unscrew the lever and put it in the back, so it's not a problem to carry around in your backpack, or if you're traveling, it's not going to be an issue as some sticks are.
I had the luxury of being able to test one of these bad boys out this Saturday over at Risk at the Energy Castle. I actually don't mind the layout. The weight was actually really good. The wrist rests felt really nice to play on. I will say it took me some time to adjust to the smaller buttons because I'm so used to playing on like normal size buttons in terms of like the diameter, or I guess circumference, whatever. But I did like how convenient it was. Like that top lever, by the way, that top handle can actually fold downward, so it's much sleeker in design. It doesn't look like it's like pretty much just sticking out all the time. It wasn't difficult to figure out how like to make it so that the cable is like locked in place when you plug it in somewhere instead of it like constantly retracting. Being able to pull out the joystick as Storm Kubo, it's not difficult. You just gotta grab it, pull it upwards, and you'll be able to do it. It's, brother, I promise you, you got it.
I can't watch this.
It's,
he's like, you can do it. Just give me a second.
it's not hard. It's really, he's making it much more complicated than it is. I promise you, it's very, very easy. And also, the backlatch makes it easy to open up this. Jesus Christ. Kubo-san, please, dude.
My bro. He's like, you take care of this. He's like, this is doable. Listen.
Yamato's not even going to try to remove the stick, by the way. But it does come stock with some pretty good buttons. There are like silent buttons to it as well. I think the stock buttons felt pretty good to press, and having access to like extra buttons to map out whatever macro you'd want is pretty convenient. I put drive impact right above the light punch button for myself to test it out, and I felt like I was 10 years younger just doing that. I'm like, oh, this is much more convenient to like anti-DI, and it felt really good.
Benjamin button type beat. I like that. All right, he's gonna try again. Please don't let him try again. We can just move on. Anyway, great thing. I like to try it. Leverless as well.
He's trying so hard, bro.
Oh my God, please. You just gotta let it go, bro. You gotta know when to fold them. Does have the strap though. At least you can showcase that. You can have that strap right there instead of just carrying it or putting it in your backpack, so you can just kind of hold it. Perfectly done. Yeah, there you go. Storm. Saving yourself a little bit. He's not coming back after this. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, shout out to Milo for making such obviously a great stick that's made for us. I feel like they really made it for us. And these beautiful balls from Red Bull. I wonder if these are in stores in America as well. That is super sick. I might have to check out my local whatever store is around me to find these.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be pretty cool, but I'm not too sure, honestly. I haven't really been able to see any of these just yet. I'm sure they do have them in Japan. Obviously, we saw like the commentators crack one open at the very beginning of the show, the bottles. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Japan exclusive or even like a European exclusive, because European Red Bulls also have like different flavors to it. He finally got it.
He had to go back and show. He's like, I can do it, I promise. I guarantee you, the tech from behind was like, yo, we got you, bro. The tech production from behind was like, listen, I got you. Let's just, and then when we come back, hey man, you got it. Good job, Storm. Good job. You know, it happens to the best of us, or maybe not. Either way, it is. I want him to prove. I want him to prove that he actually did it himself. Like, I want to see if it was like the producer that helped him, or if he actually did it himself. He has to do it eventually, but either way. We'll figure out that mystery right after the break. We got match number 3 coming right around the corner. Hiroshima Team Ikuza versus FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. We'll see you in just a bit.
再開予定時刻約8分後となる21時7分、9時7分頃予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
大カプコン展、ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン、ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
上間に合ってる。ガード入れ方、相打ち先に触れるのはジュリでしょう。この次の投げ受けざるを得ない。上
オ
ッケー、いいよいいよ。
軽弾ガードしてる。マジか。ラッシュ、次は投げる。まあ残り10秒、残り10秒、時間がない。中継された。
よく耐えた。
これでフルセットフルラウンド残した。抜け入れる。圏内になってるぞ。遅らせ踏み込んで10カウント目の前。15秒。CH は時間とかありますから。ここ一番の
40歳だけど。
ナイス。
40歳だけど。
ナイス。
最後のインパクトなんですが、あれはもう読んでいたのか。
すごいことに全然意識してなかったです。
これは
やっぱその孫さんはちょっとインパクトを返せてないんですけど、私は孫さんより全然若いので。はい。
何回当たってんのこれ。
今ゲージよりもまずは距離を意識。
いい判断。
自分からと見せて。
敵当たってんね。
ドライブゲージ結構使っていきますね。
使いますね。キャンセルラッシュも含めて。
敵当たってんね。
ここではスパークシュートを使いながらうまく固く守ってた。
当たるね、マジで。何回当たってんのこれ。
こう持ち方。
ナイス。5回目ですよ、昇竜拳。全部ヒットしてますよ。
この目を潰すかのようなオーディアッパー。大師ねじ込んだ。次は。
オッケー。やだ。完璧。
オーディ勝利が6回当たった。
Hiroshima Team Itsuka, Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. This is our last match. It's a marquee match. It's going to determine so much for Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. My name is Seiko. I'm joined with Vicious. Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Let's start off with them. The introduction. Young man sees the future. Adele on the head has been one of the most spectacular players we have seen the new generation thus far out here at Street Fighter League. So keep up that energy. After that, lightning fast speed star himself. It's Akira on this Kami. Let's see if we can put the push icy on and rob these people out here in the streets. After that's going to be the grappler instinct. Always knows when to go for the command grab. It's Habiki the Beast with the Lily. Once again, very dominant player over in the World Warriors. And last but not least, the duelist always ready for battle. It's Aqua with that Blanca, or maybe C Viper. We'll have to see if he'll commit to that character at some point. But either way, this team has been super strong and it's super stacked. It is in second place right now. We'll see if they can get up to a top spot. It's even necessary for them. They've been so dominant and throwing up the signs. We'll see if I can do it too. There we go. Yes.
From what it looks like, I don't think they'll be able to leapfrog over Reject for the #1 spot, considering they had 40 points to their name, right? It's just going to be out of their standing, out of their reach, really. The most they can possibly acquire right now is 230 points if they manage to get a 40-point ball game against this team. Now, although they are in last place with 90 points, I don't think they're going to go out quietly into the night, right? FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN start off. We got the Ascendant, Tsubasa, coming in as one of the rookies in this Division F. We'll see if he's going to be utilized today. Same question goes for our other resident Dalsim name, Torimeshi, the Fire Master. Coming in with the explosive fist, it is Johnny, who has played both Manon and Marisa. We're still looking to see if he's going to play a pivotal part, at least within this week. And of course, the unyielding spirit that is Yanai, who has actually been quite a damn good player, all things considered. I think like he could be better utilized in terms of like his positioning. But other than that, I think he's showing a pretty strong performance for himself in consideration of the current circumstances.
100%. I feel like he's one of the best Vices to ever do it. You see it in his play. You see it in terms of like the points he's acquired for his team and so many clutch scenarios. It's just, again, putting the team together in the right ways, and hopefully Johnny will be out here being able to cook. The fact that they're at home definitely helps out, but you look at the character list for Hiroshima Team Itsuka. They got a Cammy, a Lily, an Ed, and a Blanca waiting in the extra position. That Ed right there in the anchor already is a devious threat. We've seen how dominant Adele could be. But even Aki to start things off is a very difficult call to have a counter pick. Just in general, what do you feel about this order?
Kind of rough. I'm really hoping, first and foremost, that Adeli's going to be ready for the competition, considering he was a little bit sick last week. He had to recoup himself from the standings. But overall, I'm actually looking through his current record for himself. He hasn't had like the best shot as the anchor, just based off of what we've seen from like week 5, even further on. I feel like he's been kind of just in the midway, like average, like just a pretty decent standings for himself. I think it's more so been the lifting from the side of Aqua and Akira that's been really, really potent and really important to note in regards to like the point acquisition this season. But yeah, Johnny coming in against the Akira, I'm actually kind of curious to see like what type of threat or what type of practice Johnny has had against Cammy specifically to solicit hit goes at first.
Isn't this kind of strange, I feel? Like Cammy has the aerial approach, which is already hard for her. Recent anti-air, now you're dealing with dive kicks and jumps and things like that. Then the low option, driver's crouching light kick, crouching medium kick to low profile over Gladius, or what she'd like to do. I'm really curious too. Johnny, I don't think has had a win thus far. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's won a match just yet. He's won games. We saw that close set with Goichi where Goichi was able to run it back at the very end, but we haven't seen him win a full-on match overall. And going with Akira, who's such a fast-paced player, it's going to be very difficult to track him down or already try to deal with him on the ground. He's going to go to the air continuously. You don't know what he's going to do. It's a very hard call. I don't know why we see him go up. Maybe it's just because he can't go anywhere else. I'm not sure.
I would think to myself, like, if you see Cammy go airborne, you would resort to, like, maybe using a charged Gladius, perhaps. But even so, either that or go immediately air-to-air with a target combo for the knockdown if you could, like, catch it in time within the certain distances. It's really difficult, man. I've talked to Tasty Steve about this matchup, and he says he hates fighting against Cammys as well. He thinks that like Cammy could have a pretty decent time against Marisa in the neutral, being able to outspace her. At least throw mediums, like a bunch of mediums around there, really irritate Marisa. And even also have like a pretty decent range of throwing in low medium kicks against like somebody who's trying to play footsies with Gladius, because it does get blown up from the waist below, right? So I'm not too sure about the decision making behind Johnny going first.
Like, I get it in terms of like the anti-airs you mentioned, like the OD Gladius and like, you know, the air-airs, but then you're giving up space to have those ranges happen better for you. And even then, as you mentioned, it's still very dicey. Akira says, though, good evening. I knew it was a probability I'd play against Johnny. I really want to win so that the practice this week was right for me. I don't want to practice for Marisa again. He's like, you know, in the reverse of things, though, if I get hit, it's going to hurt a lot. And that is not even a matchup thing, it's just a Marisa thing. When they optimize, you see like her being renamed to two-touch Teresa, all right? Because she can definitely deal with the damage. Can those moments happen, though? We'll have to see if we get caught lacking. Bad ODP could lead to so much, and we've seen what Johnny can do when he's given the opportunity. It's just he's not given that too often, too much to win an entire match. Will today be the day? Let's get it.
Already jump-in successful against Johnny, right? Not being able to catch. That's 2 jump-ins in a row already. We're already starting to see like some of the highlighted weaknesses that Marisa has. Like, she can rather like catch certain people off of like those distances, or at least those angles, not ankles, excuse me. But for the most part, it's been looking all right for Johnny, being able to score that OD and fold.
We saw you have the lead to back off just a little bit. There's the charge of Gladius. You mentioned that, caught him with the proper distance, spots out the overhead though. Get to get back the turn, spin knuckle, get the spiral arrow right after. Try first throw, this could all go bad. Get off the corner. Dies the lows and throws. There's the crouching line kick we mentioned. Could be a throw in the... No, it's not. It's a stand line kick instead. I thought he was gonna go for the walk up throw right after, but in between the string, Johnny caught the button, caught the punish counter. First round to him. Oops! Big head kick. What a whip punish.
Damn, just busted up the driving. And even so, you tried to charge the Gladius and it still got blown up by the jump roundhouse just based off of the timing? That's rough, man.
Ugh. Center button. And you see Akira not trying to play too much with that crouch middle kick. We'll just get the jump in. Knows the access point for this character. Cross cut back medium, not going to commit to the DP. I do like that. Oh, and a back jump into the crouching medium punch.
That is rough. That is just looking really, really rough. Like how often we've seen Akira get away with a lot of these jump-ins. I mean, granted, it's not like a full blowout, right? It's still round for round thus far. I do like the fact that both are locked and loaded with 3 bars. Johnny can let out a very explosive start. If he finds it, though, Akira not trying to give him solids, not trying to give it to him for free. Again, these jumpers are going to go like highly uncontested. Up until that point, jump back medium coming in from Johnny.
Russell buttons on wake up. Try brush command grab. He tried to go for it. I knew it too, so did Akira. Take him towards the corner. Meaty crouch fears. The throw right after. Don't tap parry. Try to get some win this, but he has to find something significant. The DP is there as the anti-air. Walking forward, heavy kick drive, reversal, offensive style. Akira and burnout, but definitely not out of options. One whip, one hit in the level 3 will be the victory. Even closer now. One bad Gladius, actually, even on recovery, will kill you. No gaps.
I think you need a little bit more, perhaps. So maybe drain the rest of the life, even with critical art. I don't know. There might be a world where she is able to net that much damage. Oh, I see. I thought I heard you say Marisa. Oh, get smoked! What an option select. Either that or was I honestly think that was reactions more so than an option select.
Yeah, I think you committed to it. It worked out. Still very doable. Neutral jump again. One more touch. In between the pressure, able to sneak in the jab. That is so sad.
Dude. And it was as soon as Akira went airborne, Johnny froze up again. Oh. This feels bad.
Yeah.
This feels rough.
I feel like if he plays buttons a little bit faster, his shimmy scenarios, like, he might be better off, but you mentioned freezing up a little bit too much. Oh. Not allowed to jump.
That was a punish counter and it was grounded? Hold up. What do you do about
punish.
that, right? Like, okay. Level 1 wake up. And it was enough damage. Interesting. Oh my. I actually thought he was going to live by like a pixel.
The extra health? Yeah. I thought so too. Well calculated. Akira. Now for the corner. Defense again. Perfectly done. Reversal buttons. Wake up super. ODDP this time. It's a heavy off fine though. Johnny taking towards the corner.
Still gonna be fine. It's a safe job. And tracking down the shenanigans, by the way. OD spin knuckle. Can't get past the mom. Oh my god. Muscle mommy covering all bases. Yo, Johnny. That was actually kind of sick. He was ready for it.
He really tried to hit him with that motivational Monday. It's Tuesday, brother. Sorry. Backdash away from the throw. Glad he's trying to kill the drive gauge. Okay, gotta be careful with this bar usage right now. Johnny with a lot to give. Try push Gladys for the knockdown. Stand fierce. Oh, the whip punish. Too far for the sweep to happen. Perfectly done to get some damage off. Goes towards the corner. Wake up jabs. Back throw? Yeah, I'll switch it up a little bit. Put you in the corner now.
Ooh!
Them crouching mini kicks are getting caught continuously.
Not dumping out the damage. Tried to go for a setup from the side of Johnny. Akira does get smoked with the low medium kick just at the very far end of it. Akira looking a little distressed. He hates this matchup. He's looking mad upset.
It's wild because like Cammy has so many things that she could do in this matchup that you know the Marisa player hates it too. But the fact of the matter is Johnny's been wailing out Akira very well. Does get the air to air and he's killing the drive gauge, which I am thinking that is helping to deal with like reversals or in terms of like expenditure and bar. Has not been able to find the perfect parry. Times have just been not there. He has not blocked him. A reversal. Train combo incoming. You're dead.
Charge. Damn, it's really starting to fall apart for Akira in terms of defense, right? He's really trying to call out certain situations where he's trying to trade buttons, push buttons where Johnny's kind of enticing him to do so off of these charged normals, right?
Oh, trying for the air to air, put himself up in the corner. But Johnny's defense has been pretty good so far. As we see right there, clutch back dash and the back throw. Finds the time in the flip out, that's fine. In the bait, he's trying to get the punish. You're super out, unfortunate. Oh, don't let it be you, bro.
Oh, what is happening? You're hella dead.
First win for Johnny with the level 3. Oh my god, man.
My man is playing ranked Cammy right now. My man is going back into Grandmaster. That was rough. You know, on both ends it was rather sloppy, but I don't know how else to call that. That's luckily enough for Johnny, the first big W. Hey, congratulations. We'll take it where we can get it, and I like that. Good for you and good for FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. 100 points. They finally broken the threshold because of Johnny's mommy Marisa. Hell yeah.
Let's go. Johnny getting some points on the board finally. And also I feel like, you know, the exchange rate against somebody like Akira, maybe that was the play. They're like, listen, if this cat misses or makes a mistake or is whipping buttons, I'm going to make him pay. If he's that type of Cammy, I'm game to run the matchup, whether we bad on paper or not. I'm going to keep him out, frustrate him. Definitely, there were a lot of moments of frustration, as you mentioned, that felt like Akira just could not get going after he got walled out. And all these mistakes that could have been so much more with the super. And Johnny able to take advantage of the scramble scenario. Very well done for Johnny. He gets 10 points on the board. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN had mentioned they need every bit of points as possible to even have contentiousness. And they start off strong, but Hibiki comes up next. I don't know who you send up against him if I'm being so real. I thought it was going to be Akira that was going to go up against him. Man, this is tough. This is tough. I'd say Yanai for the anchor, but Tormeshi?
All right, well, we'll take that. It's going to be Bison coming in from Yanai.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Torameshi against the Ed would work out as well. So you're not trying to clutch out more points. All right, all right.
I mean, I feel like if you want to emphasize anything in regards to the matchup because you play this character, feel free to do so.
Oh, okay. Scissor kick. She can't punish it barely, if ever at all. You know, I feel like his buttons also outrange hers. Stand fierce. Even drive rush jab is really good if she tries to like go for crouch fierce or like stand medium. So you hold that mid range and you poke with stand medium kick. Overall, he does really well. Obviously, don't get knocked down because when she gets the stocks going and the command grabs going, it can be kind of difficult. But overall, I think Bison does fine in this matchup, if not really well. And at least Psycho Crusher is a really good tool to get in and get some of the button presses that she wants to utilize. And that light one being good is going to be good against the aerial approach, whatever she wants to present. So I think it's difficult for her the neutral. I think it's difficult when she gets knocked down. I think it's difficult for her to punish the things that Bison wants to do. In the aerial approach, like Devil's Reverse, you can crouch fierce the anti-air, but I feel like I've seen a lot of Bison players kind of scoot step underneath it, kind of bait it out sometimes with like different variations, or go for OD Stomp. So it's really good on paper. I think it's one of Bison's better matchups. However, Hibiki is a different beast. We saw how he works in bad matchups. He has really good inclinations in terms of like stagger stepping and micro stepping, and to get the command grabs, the normals, to make it hard to read what he wants to do on offense. We saw that with the World Warrior. We've seen it over here in League. He's been a better player overall. And Hibiki says, I knew either Yanai or Torameshi would come for me. I did the training, so I'll win here no matter who it is. So he's ready for either player.
I think what I'm looking forward to is seeing what happens after like a situation where a max scissor kick kind of happens. If Hibiki's gonna like take liberties of like trying to throw out a button. Like I know standing light punch is 5 frames. I know standing light kick is 4 frames if I'm not mistaken. But it's just a matter of like range. Right, it's just a matter of whether or not they're spaced out correctly to actually get like a punish against like any of the scissors that, depending on which scissors, obviously. But I think what's really important is like Bison's ability to close the gap at a moment's notice, like using OD Psycho Crusher if need be to kind of like force Lily to not be able to get any win stocks for free. Devil's Reverse is also a really good tool to kind of close the gap if need be. I want to see Yanai enforce pressure with the distance, right? Like this right here, staying mid-distance and also throwing out those drive rushes suddenly really puts Hibiki on edge.
100%. Sammy, with all that considered, is going to be devious. Oh, this is going to suck. OD, back this in there with the heavy, of course. Drive rush, hits the brakes. Does keep with the wake up stand light kick, though. He's in. It's time to gas the back dash again to avoid the command grab. I have the instinct to be an anti-grappler, says Yanai. Yep, see, hard to do so in terms of dealing with that scissor kick. He tried to dash up to do something. The crouching medium punch was there to stop before he even gets started. And I knows the spacing.
Oh, you have to a pretty sound start, I will say, from the side of Yanai. Based off of the opener, based off of the first round. Trying to press the button after Enhanced Spire. Really trying to test the limits a little bit. Hibiki, funny enough, didn't really get like a big conversion off of that, so I think that's fine for Yanai to go like rather unscathed. Uh-oh, level 1, that's gonna be parried.
Hey, use level 1 to finish things off. Damage is racking up. Level 1 for the Sunny Yanai. Out of the corner. Objective secure. Double dashes up the jab. Of the sweep. Interrupts, but right after that, crouching medium punch is played. Back distance on. Change the landscape of the game. Plus frames right there. Oh, he's talking, we talked about. Blocked out trade. The follow-up though, Yanai. Trying to finish things off. Same with Hibiki, the scissor kick able to hit. Oh, but no, the back fist not able to follow up.
I was about to say, he was spending mad cash, dude. He was trying to buy everything off of the dollar menu. Make Bison a little bit too short.
Expensive these days.
It is.
Overhead, blocked out.
It's crazy, dude. The McChicken is actually like kind of expensive. Oh my god, and so is that drive rush sweep. My man got sent all the way to the back of the drive-through. Jesus. Uh-oh.
Nice perfect parry. Get the back to ender. Yes, sir. Put the bomb on. With the drive gauge, you probably could kill depending on what you go for. Anti-air is there. He tried to jump in. Drive rush command grab. Yanai not being able to find the offense you would expect from Bison, especially after the bomb. Hibiki been well to do to be able to hold parry, to avoid the bomb scenarios right after. That's the damage access for the character. I mean, he can do the damage, but man, if the bomb is on, it's night-night, right? So I like the ideas we see with the scissor kick and things like that, but when the bomb is on, he's not accessing what he needs to do to close the games out. It's a very wily decision trying to sweep too far out when he can't get in there when the stocks are on, and you know we see a Vicky being able to restock and be fine to block it out right after. That's what happens. So he has to recognize the distance, the timing. He can actually go for like a side or like honestly just get the distance in there and just hold the brakes. Don't go for a button. Get punished too much.
Yeah, even the commentary is kind of like mentioned that too. Like the scissor kicks have been not really much of a threat coming in from the side of Yanai. I feel like Hibiki's been in really, really good control, at least for the majority of the matchups too. And also just like a slight error from the side of Yanai, like that could be brushed off as well. But I think in terms of the pacing, Hibiki's done really well for himself, both defensively and also like establishing the pace, like even after drive rush. You see some of the urges for Yanai to kind of like back away with movement because he's scared of the command grab pretty early on. And I think it's more of like a personal, maybe like a personal note towards Hibiki rather than like the character itself. It's like some of the inclinations that some of these characters, some of these players kind of go for in the matchup. So we're starting to see that kind of really wear down Yanai on defense.
I feel like that we see him scaling back after he got 2 command grabs avoided. He was like, all right, this isn't working. I'll do drive rush button instead. You know, I won't go for command grabs as much. That variance is allowing him to, you know, put pause on Yanai. So Yanai, again, it's more bomb access, more damage access after the bomb. Maybe more throws, honestly. Try to go for overheads and things like that are great. Try to find conversions are great, but maybe more throws might have to be the way. Or a shimmy scenario, catching the recovery of attack parry attempt, or just catching a button right after, or at least applying pressure. Scissor kicks are leading into sometimes the back fist, but it's just the access right after that needs to be more. When the bomb is on, needs to be a lot more. That's the scary thing about Bison. When the bomb is on, your health just goes like this. It's gone, completed, deleted, off the table.
Well, they have to land a hit.
That's usually pretty good,
right?
That's what I mean.
Like if you don't land a hit, then it doesn't really matter. Like at most, you've seen Yanai use the bomb to like steal turns away, or not turns away, but like to keep on the pressure. Like he's used it for Psycho Crusher afterwards in a string. We've seen him do that a couple of times over. Yeah, I don't think the bomb has really been proven to be like the biggest threat against Hibiki right now.
Yeah.
Like you have, that's the biggest thing. It's like even if you have a bomb installed, it's like it doesn't do anything if your defense is good.
Credit to Hibiki. His defense has been fantastic in terms of what he's choosing to do. You know, we saw him hold parry, be able to anti that jump in. But that was also his time, I think, from Yanai. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit with the bombs. Oh, nice interruption with the crouch fierce against a round start drive for a scissor kick. Very typical thing for Bison to do.
Man, what a call out with the sweep. He was mad far. Had to use that drive reversal Yanai. I guess he was sensing a little bit too much danger. Wanted to push Hibiki back a little bit. Yep, that's the one thing we were talking about prior to the match, right? Using that drive, sorry, the devil's reverse against the Biggie's tendencies to try to anti-air everything.
We'll jump back, fade away right there. Properly spacing the scissor kick, but right now you see Hibiki get right back in with a drive rush. Block. Oh, he went for the button. Up in the corner. Defense tested. Drive rush light kick, scissor kick, well spaced out. Now he's backing off just in case a button comes through. Oh, you're in burnout. Don't get back thrown. Bomb is on at the very least. Plus.
Out of there. You see him kind of trying to micro walk his way out of the light pressure too, just in case the command grab is showing up. Excellent defense so far from Yanai, and he's already back down to burnout. Dude, he just got back in.
Got the cash, spent the cash. And that's that ass. Hibiki finds a follow-up and is harassing that drive gauge. If you're getting spin like that, I'm gonna take the rest. I'll take the change. Tip. And even after, if you can't punish, he's going for like a 4 fierce, a stock up right after. Very smart stuff from Hibiki. Level 1 puts him up in the corner though.
What a time to press! You had a lot of confidence in that. That was drive versus stand medium punch. But that's still going to leave Bison plus.
Yeah. Beautiful defensive read. Now about to finish the job. No anti-air. So welcome command grab. As soon as he landed trying to play a button, you played yourself. Hibiki 2-0 over Yanai, the most standout person on this squad. What are we saying?
Dude, and his demeanor is just another day at the office for him. He's like, dude, that was kind of free. My man just looking at it. There's the smile. There's a slight smirk. He's like, yeah, thanks, guys. Hiroshima Team Iguza also breaking boundaries, right? They're now at the 200-point threshold. Nice work from both teams, actually. But the pressure, just a little bit too much for Yanai to manage, right? You see that too. We talked about the bombs, the parry being an option, which also is like not too bad to master intentions to follow up afterwards, right? Using that uppercut. But the amount of control that Hibiki has, both like grounded and air. She was mad far, by the way, before she went up for the target combo. Just keep that in mind. Like, the control that Hibiki has within the spaces that he hangs out at is out of control, man. Jesus, he's so
Actually
sick, man.
amazing.
He's elite with his character.
10-10. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN would have obviously liked to get that 40 bomber. They need 40 bombers. 30 would be great at this point, but man, you spent your eyes up to Torimeshi. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
This is the matchup that I wanted earlier. Between who was it earlier?
Lashar? Was it Lashar? Or Fudo?
Oh, let me double check. I wanted to see, like, in the previous section, or in the previous week, in regards to like seeing Division S, I wanted to see like Dawson versus Ed in general to see how that matchup plays out. But we did not get it. Actually, I think it was part of the. I forgot which team it was. Damn it, I'm getting old. Either way, I'll bring up that point later. But Dawson versus Torimeshi, sorry, Dawson's Torimeshi versus Adeli's Ed doesn't feel like a bad pick. I think one of the biggest things that I do enjoy is like being able to outrange Ed, being able to float against the flicker, or at least like the medium and light flicker, is pretty huge. And also being able to get away with like slides past fireball, pretty important. Being able to set up like OD fireball traps so that Ed can't consistently apply pressure from further distances. I feel like we've seen him kind of like sacrifice himself for damage just to get the OD Yoga fire out. Not even just like the regular, I think it's like the upward fireball specifically for setups a bunch of times over, and it's played out well for him as well. So I'm actually kind of curious to see like how much he's developed this matchup now going forward.
That being said, I think the matchup you were looking back on, at least historically, was Momoshi versus Torimeshi. Moshi 3-0'd him in that matchup. But I don't think it was free. Like that was one of those matches where I felt like, if I remember correctly at least, maybe I brain rot, but Momoshi had to sacrifice getting hit a few times to get in that distance to get aggressive. At the very least, when you get close, you get aggressive, get active, as per usual, because Sen acts for defense. And Momoshi played that really well. But it's hard though, even on paper. Like, and if you beat someone like Torimeshi, go back to the lab and figure out ways to avoid that from happening. Azali says this is an important 20 points for the team, so I'll get that important win. And I don't know what they're laughing about, because this is about to be very difficult for Adeli. For Torimeshi, maybe it's a little bit easier on his side of things. As you mentioned, outraging this character is going to be a lot easier. And Ed's whole thing is outraging people. Well, Sam is better at that. And I feel like if you're Ed, you have to find things with like crouching light kick, crouching medium kick, to try to get in and get some of these buttons and figure out the timing of the button. It's a lot harder on that side of thing. And the fireballs create so much variance that it's hard to play your buttons too as well. And then if he goes to the air, how do you anti-air him? You can't DP half the goddamn time, because he can jump, cancel that jump fierce a lot faster, create a lot more variance in the air. The fireballs are there too as well. Torimeshi says, I'm doubting that Sim could go against Ed recently. I'm fully ready, so I'll get the win. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean?
Yeah. So the matchup I was actually talking about was YT Mochi going up against either Lashar, if he played Ed, or Fudo's Ed in the anchor match between Reject and VARREL this week.
Ah, my bad.
Oof. Smoked him with that fierce off of the throw bait. Torimeshi already under fire, right? We talked about both of these characters not necessarily having the best defense, but Ed just a little bit better than Dawson's in my opinion. But as again, we talked about being under pressure. It's also not usually able, like one to actually handle it quite well, but Torimeshi does create that space for himself. Immediately checked off with a drive rush. Level 1's going to be able to take a decent amount of damage, if not the round, which it does. It is going to be the round, obviously. Adley making quick work, actually pretty convincing work against Torimeshi Sim.
Like that perfect parry. Trying to walk on in there. Once again, get that mid-range, you can play more of those buttons. Further out, way harder because the stand light kick, stand medium punch. Anti-Rosaric with the yoga uppercut, tried to hit him with the heavy kick, was able to catch the recovery of the spark. Oh yeah, that's the Torimeshi special right there. Drive rush yoga flyer. Right back up in the corner though. Hold this throw.
Oh my god, a punish counter again, yo, flick him up. Damn, the double blitz? Hey, Adley, hold up.
Is that high? Walking away from the yoga flame.
The jump in, way to snipe against the fireball. Adley is looking like it's pretty easy for him to navigate this matchup. Torimeshi has not been able to stop Adley from rushing on in there.
Yeah, I feel like perfect parry's definitely helping out. As you say that, it works out. Drive rush button immediately works out. Put him right back up in the corner. These early leads definitely help out to get that lead over Sim, where it's hard for him to have that return over C. It's hard for Sim to get his revenge, but on the other side of things, if he gets a lead, it's hard to get it against him. So that's a blessing and a curse to fight this character. Big fierce punch incoming. The space.
He has hit this heavy punish counter like every single round thus far against Torimeshi. And then when it's not his turn, he backs away. He's looking for a whiff punish on in. He's looking for like a commitment to the fireball, hence why he's closing the gap. Drive rush sniped out again off of the perfect parry. Adley is looking well prepared for everything that Torimeshi is trying to throw out on offense.
You know, I know what I said, but sometimes matchups develop, and maybe Torimeshi is kind of right because this man is cooking him. God, he can't play anything. Does float back up in the corner. Can't even get a shimmy. Man can't even walk forward or back. Walking 6 feet under. Stand fierce, light. He's going to be anti-air. Side switch. He couldn't even full jump fierce. Oh, drive reversal that. Yes, sir.
This guy's insane. No. This is cooked. This is overcooked. This is all of like. This is all him, brother. I have never seen anybody that ready. Buffering the super behind the dash, reacting to the fireball to get the level 3. Nah, this is cooked. This guy is insane.
Put a fork in it.
Adley, he's playing different right now. I don't know what it is, but he's hit Torimeshi with everything in the kitchen. It's crazy.
It's some from the living room, to be honest. He is so good with the perfect parries, the button responses right after. And we're going to tap parry attempt though, gonna toss him. Yoga arc, need more of these fireballs if you can play it, but as I say that, he's getting perfect parry. Oh, it's gonna be a punish, okay, on the knockdown with the fireball, perfect parry again, all the way down. A lot of perfect parries, a lot of blue right now. Oh, still fighting and jumping. Ow! Bro, how are you getting these?
I mean, he reacted to the fireball, for that one at least.
The structuring though, to understand what's gonna come through. Yeah, that one, drive rush jab. We'll toss him. OD arc not gonna save you.
Yeah, he's been ready for every like fireball that Torimeshi thrown his way, like quite literally. Whether it's a regular Yoga Fire, Comet, upward angle one. Oh, empty jump to bait out the anti-air, back medium punch. No, he's cooking! He's hella cooking, dude! What is this timing?
God damn, yes, chef. Serve it to the pass. Set point, Adley. Fireball, heavy. For the perfect parry, just let him stand on 10 toes and hold his ground, which is what you want to do in this matchup. But you're gonna find that jump in if he needs it. Okay, clutch back dash, side switch. After that tech, able to walk in. Come here.
Bro, he's been so adamant about like using these drive rushes so often. Torimeshi does get a proper anti-air this time with hella damage back behind it. It's the first time he's had a commanding lead thus far against Adelaide. The way, it's too far. Oh, it's counter hit. Walks out of the range of Yoga Flame. Ah, right. Okay, Torimeshi finally on the board with at least a round. An expensive round, albeit totally fine to use that super to end it.
Whatever it takes to stay in the game at this point. Divine kicks, push back right after. And Adelaide, as soon as the turn is over, even though he didn't get the follow-up, the fact that he was ready for that heavy kick after that string of normals and fireballs before. Not over though, the anti-air is there. Jump medium, flipping the button. Jump fierce, there we go, get aerial with it. Harder for Ed to deal with, as we mentioned, we see it right now.
A much better rebuttal right now from Torimeshi, spending a lot of the meter. Now he has to play the spacing game against Adelaide. Continuously checking with the fierces. No drive rushes here, floating over the fireball in full control. Torimeshi trying to land the plane. He was in a little bit of turbulence for the first couple of rounds, first couple of games. Now he's going to try to take everybody home from Fukushima IBUSHIGIN.
He's been definitely taking flight quite a bit. We've seen a lot of floats, a lot of floated buttons. Round start jumping. Forward fierce. Cobra strike. Nice way from that Yoga Flame. A perfect parry, but no big deal though. Got the range to work with. Oh man, that heavy, but no stand fierce to follow up. What if a button would have worked out better there instead of a DP? Not sure.
Oh, it's not bad. Looking forward though as well. Cobra strike. No fierce is actually connecting this time. Torimeshi a lot wiser in regards to his timing and throwing out buttons within certain ranges. Counter hit, not going to be too bad, too dastardly just in case. But he actually tried to move on out. Adley still enforcing the pressure with the meaties. Look at that match point.
Straight to the cemetery. Bar at the bottom to utilize too as well if he wants to. Avoids the fireball. Encroaching in that space for Sim, don't want that to happen. We'll drive our shab. Not just yet. Oh, the spark caught a button and the knockdown with the fireball. There's that move we talked about. Use that kill rush back to avoid scenarios. Blast in the level 1 to get the lead. Torimeshi needs to have this as Sim. Okay, get the lead, get the W. Force him to come to you on your terms. Drive a shab though. Still with the stand fierce. Nah. He dipped.
Too ready. He's just too ready. Drive rush on in, right? You got him. Throw. Torimeshi knew it. Back throw. Floating over. Fierce at max distance. Backing away as soon as his turn is over. I like this. Torimeshi, he was trying to bait with the DI.
Oh, and then we got caught, but the only fireball is too thick to deal with. Adam, 3-1. The pop-off, well-deserved. This cat is, he gotta be a robot. We gotta check him for mechanics, because he was mechanical with it. The deciphering, the understanding how to flow through the normals of fireballs, the spacing, the perfect parries. My God, this kid is ridiculous. Torimeshi, man. I'm sorry, it's had to be that way, huh? This kid is just too prepared, too prepped, too ready.
Torimeshi got picked apart. Round by round, normal by normal, in the corner, mid-screen, in the air, all of the above. Like, this man, Adley, scored well against Torimeshi. And I don't even think that's like a proper way of really stating it, but damn. He really called everything that Torimeshi tried to throw at him. Majority of the time. They had to skip over the first 2 games of Bus Ass to highlight the one round that Torimeshi had. That's how bad it was. Like, these guys have to go straight into the replay. It's like, all right, man, we got to show an even-keeled kind of, like, matchup between the two. We got to show this highlight. And I get it, man. That's actually a really cool strat to actually implement, like, using the OD Yoga Art, drive rushing forward into DI, because it would be 3 hits solo in case they react with their own drive impact. That's a pretty cool strat. But I'm still rather impressed from Adley and his approach towards the Dawson matchup. Very aggressive, right? Like, that's actually the most aggressive I've seen in a while against Torimeshi.
It's the most aggressive I've seen someone play against him in general. You know, like the fact that he had the perfect parries to be able to stay in the proper ranges, to be in the mid-range. The counter poke, as you mentioned, hit that stand fierce. It felt like 10 out of 10 times for max reward. The shimmies were fantastic. I mean, he was just too much. That kid is just too much. We're getting the winner interview though. Aqua, you know, he sat on the bench, but wasn't really necessary. When you have such a strong team, it's hard to even, you know, be upset that you have to sit on the bench. But I'm sure Aqua could have definitely did some business out here. That being said, I want to go back to Hibiki real quick too as well. Like the way that he played that Bison matchup was fantastic. Reading what Yanai was doing, and when Yanai was wasting a bit too much bar, he went for the rest of it. In fact, the whole team overall, despite Akira, was pretty well informed. I think Akira was a matter of like a personal preference of hating having to fight Marisa. It's like, man, I hate having to fight this character when I play so fast. If I make a mistake, I'm gonna die for it. So maybe that's a matter of why they sent up Johnny for that. But damn, Hiroshima Team Itsuka, they are incredible all the way around.
They had the potential to get the 40 bomber too. If Akira hadn't dropped that pivotal punish counter against Johnny, like using that OD spiral arrow and having it whiff, there was a possibility of keeping it rather close between like Hiroshima Team Ixa and Team Reject. But either way you spin it, I'm actually rather impressed. Like Hibiki getting a big 2-0 over Yanai. And you can see it, yeah, like Akira is getting ready for his interview. I'm sure he's got like a lot to say about like his very significant drop. And dude, Adley, what a monster, right? Like, how do they even find a way to recruit this guy?
I'm actually so curious. Like, where did you see him besides looking at CFN or something like that to know that he would be not only like a great player, but a good addition to Street Fighter League? Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, you're a great player, but it's also one thing to be like, you're young. Hey, join the league and be immediately good against champions, legends that have been around double your age, have been playing a lot longer than you, and stand up for our team. The stress, the amount of weight to go up with an anchor position. Remember, one of his first matches, if not his first, was like Goichi, and he won against him. Like, that is insane to me. Like, the mentality these kids have, like, and you see it in the gameplay. It's not like they're just winning because they're just doing stuff. It's their activity, it's their defense, it's their understanding what to do. And there's also, I feel like they just don't really panic. Like, I feel like Adley doesn't really freak out so much if he loses the game or whatever. You don't see in this play. Very stable player. Aqua says though, awesome, just awesome. The team is really strong. I was really worried about the order, and I was really nervous today. I decided the order today by how the opponent was practicing and how well they were doing. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, either way you spin it, like having this order is a pretty stacked one, right? I think the only other choice you would have is like replacing maybe Adley for Aqua if he wasn't feeling too good, but like that's definitely without a question. My man was recovering from that sickness and bringing the damn sickness to other people. Like, this guy was like unfathomably hard to stop. Like, there was just so much that Torimeshi was facing off against in regards to like every single approach. It's just so difficult, man. But, yeah, I mean, Aqua, a lot of confidence in that order. Pretty much well deserved. I think it's a pretty solid one overall.
Killer says, I was really scared right after the game ended. I think like the commentators were muted on my side, so shows how nervous I was today. You kind of see it in his play. It was a little bit reminiscent of like how he was before. We kind of felt like he would go too fast and trip over himself. And I wonder if that's like a recent thing or if it's just like a today thing. I'm curious if you'll say it on the stream either way. Vicky said we got 30 points today. We're so close to the playoffs now. I was unable to win a single round last episode, so it was nice to be able to win today. Boy, did you take that W, because I thought Yanai was going to destroy him. It's great for Bison, the way Yanai plays is so good, so studious. And I thought after reading a few command grabs that if he would break down after that, but he didn't. He stayed solid. He switched up his game plan, took away the drive cage, and prevented him from leaving the corner, holding that mid to close range so very well. Nothing could be done. So, big ups to Hibiki.
Yeah, as much as I really enjoy like watching Willie versus Bryson's play off, I feel like Hibiki's in such a stronghold against that matchup regardless. But to kind of sum it out, Adley, we talked about it a little bit earlier ago. He said, I was sick and out last episode, so I had to win today. No more missing out for me. Yeah, which is a pretty big deal because if you look at the way it worked out for day 7, right? He had to DQ himself from like the tiebreaker spot, which is a pretty big deal. Hiroshima Team Ikaza actually fell short to reject off of that week alone. I wonder if it would have been much more of an impact if Adley had been able to put in the work for that specific week. But either way you spin it, not having the first place spot for now, I think it's all right. You still have 2 more weeks of gameplay. And all things considered, when we looked at the overall schedule, I had mentioned it a little bit earlier. Let's take a closer look before we actually get the full-on schedule. Looking at Division F, Hiroshima Team Ikaza has to face off against Team VARREL, and then they have to face off against ZETA Division. So, I think they have a pretty decent shot of still climbing back up to first.
Very much doable. See the results right now. 40-0, reject VARREL. ZETA, 30-10 from DetonatioN FocusMe. You already saw the result previously, the 30-10 right there. Hiroshima Team Isuka over IBUSHIGIN. And this is what we stand at right now. Reject, 240. Hiroshima Team Isuka, 220, excuse me. ZETA Division, Geekly at 180. 150 from DetonatioN FocusMe. VARREL, 100. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN at 102. It is getting real dire for that bottom rung right there. More so VARREL and FUKUSHIMA than DetonatioN FocusMe. The latter can do it. It's going to have to take a lot more points, though.
VARREL and FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN with 2 more weeks. At most, they can get like 180 points to their name. That's rather difficult, actually. Yeah, that's rather difficult. But looking at the calculations, we'll get that into a different time. Either way you spin it, we got the continuation of Division S going back into it on the Friday the 14th, excuse me, where we have Saishun Kansou Kumamoto going up against CAG Osaka, Nagoya NTP Oja versus Good 8 Squad, insane by the way, and then Victrix Favo Gaming against Crazy Raccoon. This is actually kind of nuts. Nagoya is currently in first place, by the way, with 230 points, 10 points over Good 8 Squad, but continuing on for the 18th, we got Hiroshima Team Ikaza versus VARREL, DetonatioN FocusMe versus Reject, and then FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus ZETA Division. Really difficult to call what the fate is going to be like for those bottom 2 teams, VARREL and FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. They might just be out of the running at this moment. It really is up to DetonatioN FocusMe and ZETA Division. This is what the rest of the schedule looks like. And guess what? You see it on the right. Street Fighter League US. It's going to be starting this Thursday. It's going to be live, by the way. Absolutely live with the live audience. If you guys are in Southern California, I highly encourage you guys to check it out. Also, get your QR code in, or sorry, get your tickets in. I don't know where the QR code is right now, but and also after that, you have Street Fighter League EU debuting on the following week. So it's going to be back-to-back weekends of Street Fighter League in between the weekdays of Street Fighter League Japan. And then a nice clear schedule for the holidays. We do have the playoffs for both Street Fighter League Japan S and F. And then also, we do have the finals happening December 7th, if I'm not mistaken, for Street Fighter League US. So it's going to be still a pretty heavy-handed holiday season.
Definitely check out those. We'll have the playoffs as well. All listed for you right here, as you mentioned, 13th and the 14th. And then next year, on the 31st of January, for the grand finale, Street Fighter League Japan will crown a champion team to fight the US and EU teams, which will already be solidified by that point. So get your tickets so you can watch that in person. I'd love to do this in person, actually commentate in person, and I don't know if I have the time to do so. But regardless, definitely tune in and clock in and lock in as we see who will be marching over to the finals, the World Champion Finals, house at Capcom Cup. It'll be like the last day, I do believe. And hey, get your seats for Capcom Cup as well. Be out there. The energy is electric. There's nothing like it, especially on that Sunday when League hits. It is different. As Vicious has mentioned, I couldn't even hear him half the damn time we're commentating. But just know it is amazing and well worth it. There is no better fan base than I feel like when everybody comes together from around the world, along with the Japan fans. They show out for the community, but it is nothing short of electric. So go out there if you can. If you can't, you can watch it too as well. But either way, catch all the action that's going to be happening up to that point. I know the World Warriors are finishing up. I know that some people have already qualified. Shout out to my boy Big Bird, Zerna for also qualifying too. And we'll see who qualifies through. Japan's get closer and closer as we're getting more deeper with the World Warriors. This isn't the final one. We're getting close to the final one. As these points get contentious and people are qualifying here in the top 16, top 8, it's going to be hard to see who's going to get that regional finals. Already hard to call who's going to do it.
I forget, is Japan a super region? Do they get two spots? I think they do, right? If I'm not mistaken. All right, don't worry about it. But either way you spin it, that's gonna be pretty exciting to watch. Like as we get closer and closer to it. But that's gonna be it right here. Yeah, Japan confirmed super region. I did check it out right now. What? Yeah, man, it's such a close race, dude. It's so difficult to tell who makes it into that top 8. But one thing you guys need to tune in for sure is Street Fighter League Japan and US. Going to be happening real soon this week. A lot to really talk about. You see it, the public viewing for World Warrior Japan. We got Aru-san, Hameko-san, and Yas coming to the table. But really cool to see actually. In regards to like how often the fans show up and show out for support for their region. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. We got a lot to go through when it comes to the realm of Street Fighter League Japan, EU, and US.
I cannot wait. The fact that we get offline US and EU, y'all tune in. I'll be tuning in. I might even show up for the finals just to watch it in person because it's so great to see it in person, live in stereo. Listen, that's been our time. I'm Senkola, join with Vicious. You can catch him this week, I'm sure, on US. And EU will be happening real soon with Jammers and the rest of the crew over there in the land of Britain. So, that all being said, though, I have some picks that I want to say for US, but I'm going to hold it. You know, I'm going to hold my tongue for them because who knows who's going to take it. These teams seem even more evenly matched, even the EU side of things. So I honestly don't know who's going to be meeting Japan, whatever Japan team that we get out there. We'll just have to wait and see. But catch it this week, though. Tune in.
It's next week. EU is next week. US is this week. It's going to be in Paris, France for Europe. And Ninjas in Pajamas are looking just as strong as ever. Either way you spin it, we got a lot of Street Fighter League coming for you this week, next week. In the meantime, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. We'll see you for the next one. Peace.
さあただ前回この自信があるという組み合わせで出た時戸は圧倒的な動きを見せました、今回はどうなるか。ディビジョン F の第8節
相当 OD 波の余命がありますからね。
インパクトは TS もも
うよく見ている。
オーディションになってもいいかもしれないね。
そう
よく見ている。ギリギリを見ていた。ドライブゲージがなくなる。バーンとか見えているところ、確認距離が遠いが SA2 のフォローに入った。素晴らしいフォローに入った。
今のコンボ初めて見たかもしれない。
圧倒的フロからカウンターバレ削りボブレル戻ってこない。
どうする。 SA1 の切り返しは怖いが割り切
で触って割ってインパクト。
割り
やだ。
オッケー。あれだ。おめでとう。
圧倒的な誘う。
シミここで
十分なダメージ量。
ここから2回入れての昇竜演武。これでもう
自動集団だ。取り切りパーフェクト。
いや無理ですね。投げは食らえない。しかもちょっと削って
パリーを投げる。
しかも
いや
しかもちょっと
ナイス。でっけーこれは。
に前に来るところ。
いやしかもこれ SA2 からの SH の追撃あるので、おそらく倒しきりも
ギリギリ届きそう。ゲージも戻ってくる間どうだ。この間合いガードから上からこの間合い。
危ねえ。
同点ですね。これ
そうですね。120と
集中したんだろうな。
危ねえ。ギリギリか。
中断だ。それを待っていたかと言わんばかりの。
若干削れていく上から。い
いや
ここでがんじがらめ
マジかこれはいったんじゃないか
残らない
マジかこれはオーディアッパー警戒して
とっておき2回目絶唱マシン上から
読めてる
前線のフレーム削りも見える状況めちゃめちゃ売れてくるボタンを押している絶唱マシン
こっから置き攻め重視ですね駒投げも見えるぞ
いつもか拒否している早めの拒否1個早い読み合い
やべえ
今
一気がしたんだけど微妙だったな
これによって1個早い読み合い
素晴らしい。
これによって制しました桃地の江戸
素晴らしい。
やった
僅差であった対 DM 戦
中継だこれにて
垂直ジャンプはどうするあと1手小づくだけで OK
おお
ディマが出てしまった対空を狙ったというあこれはゲージが溜まってるとっておきいぶし銀のとっておき炎が燃え盛る溜まってる
いやー、うまい。
とっておき
ナイス一緒ナイス
対空バッチリゆえに SSE は持っているレイジング台風さらにもう一丁台風
マイキオパンらしからね無敵技を読みできますからリリーは
上危ない状況着地に合わせる
リリーは
結局投げるんだね。すごい。
ここは結構チームにとって重要な20点になるかなと思うんで、勝って20点獲得したいと思います。
今日はね、もうジョニー君が勝ってくれたし、あとはね、今日この日のためにカツカレー食ってきたんでね。これね、負けてじゃあお疲れになっちゃうから俺は頑張りますよ。
すごい口下段などされた危ないがカウンターしている
SH
サイコストームの温存成功これでマッチポイントは
ペースが掴んできましたねオーディコメットからも
上からの炎アーチともにフェイント
インパクトカバー効いてます
間に合うドライブゲージはかなり少ない状況体力もない取り飯くぐり抜けれずかなり少ない状況体力もない取り飯くぐり抜けれず
抜けれんかそれ
かなり少ない状況体力もない取り飯くぐり抜けれず
ラッキーナイスナイスやっぱ強いよ
お前の20点でけえよ
本当にマジで
いや、今日キャッチブ使いならではの